And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon, you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what's happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat Cape gradually, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You wanna get a news update, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. Kilibamba, kilibamba, kilibamba. What I want? Yes, what you got today?
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Yes, what you got today?
Spoon.
Beseku.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Bada.
Spoon.
Skibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon entertainment.
Kuwa. Beseku, kudileo. Kuwa, kudileo.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station. Spoon television.
Okay, Spoon FM, Spoon TV, Spoon Radio. This is the Spoon Network. We want to say welcome. Thanks to everyone tonight for joining us across the world. This is where you get the news. This is where you get the information. This is where we're dishing out Liberia's very best. I'd like to say welcome. Thanks for joining us again tonight on another edition of Liberia's premier talk show on radio and online. This is the Spoon Talk. We're live across Radio Land on Spoon FM 107.5, Fabric Radio 101.1, and Super 95.5 FM. Many thanks to our affiliate radio stations across Liberia that are always relaying the show. Thanks to Trust FM in Bomi County. Thanks to Premier FM in Bon County. Thanks to Gibi FM in Kakata, Margibi County. And of course, Trend Radio in Grand Crew County. We're also being relayed on Radio Yalaman in Seklepie, Nimba County. I want to say thanks to the team there. And thanks to Liberians across the country who are right now tuned in to Spoon FM. I want to welcome all of you. This is your show. This is your program. And thanks for joining us tonight. We are streaming live across the internet as well. We're live on Spoon TV on Facebook, Fabric TV on Facebook, and Super TV on Facebook. You can also join us on YouTube, and the YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. I want to welcome everyone tonight. This show is loaded. Kindly share the program as you come on tonight. This is one edition of Spoon Talk you don't want to miss. A lot is happening across Liberia, and the team is all set to give you a great show tonight. My name is Nelson Colette, and of course, as always, we have Mr. Dwalu here with us. He's in the background. Let me go backstage and bring Chief Mr. Dwalu and the people. Good evening, sir. Welcome. It's good to see you.
My man Aresh Shani, it's a pleasure to always be here. I missed you guys yesterday, but I'm glad I can be on today. Our people, they got responsibility. You share the show by. You're kind of tall, bro. You're welcome across the country. A lot of happiness. I'm actually watching a video right now as we're speaking. From inside the CDC headquarters. Somebody will film me from inside what the route being through. I don't know if you've seen that video yet.
I don't know which of the videos, because I've seen a lot of other videos.
This was filmed from inside. So the one you guys,
you're talking about the one where the person is yelling. The one recorded in the night. There's one nighttime video that was recorded, and
it was in the day. I just see it there. I was just watching it right now.
Oh wow!
We thank God. Yeah, from inside the city. So somebody was filming from inside.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would appreciate for you to share that with me. But yes, that's the beauty of technology. It has made it possible for people, whether you're a journalist or not, once you have a smartphone, to get involved with citizen journalism, and which is very important when it comes to information dissemination, though it has the positive and the negative associated with it as well. Yes, but it's a great thing that I would appreciate if I can have that video as well. But we're glad to be here again.
Let me share with you right now as we speak it. But Nelson, it's been a long time since I did a little color soliloquy with my people. I wanted to talk to the people today before the guys get here about the word allegedly. Without evidence, hasn't gotten convicted. The person, you can't claim they're guilty when you have not tried them. And after a while, everybody follows that and say, "But you can say the man guilty, the man not going to cool here." I want to address that today, but I'll have you talking a little bit. Let me send this over to you so you can take a look at the video. The video just has disappeared. I should have. Oh, okay, great. Let me show Nelson Cole. But Nelson, go ahead.
Yes, sir. And it's very important. And Liberians wait eagerly for the 3, 4, or 5 minutes that you would take up to talk to them. I think it's a food for thought every day for Liberians. It's either highlighting some of the ills in our society and the respective roles we all have to play in addressing those issues, or we reawakening our conscience, and our conscience is to ensure that we can do the right things to create an environment better than what we met, better than what we have, and somewhere that the future generation can be able to take up from on a very good note. So yes, I agree. Across the country. And I tell you, Mr. Dwalu, for any time, maybe if you were on the show for 2-3 days and the people did not get those inspiring words coming out for them, they get concerned, So again, that's why it is, and I'm glad you're here.
Appreciate this. But I forgot yesterday, man. I didn't congratulate my brother Ngafwan. And sir, I want to say congratulations for your appointment. But we're going to say this, and I have to speak about this issue because I've been listening to a few broadcasts over the last month or so, and I've been hearing this thing being said repeatedly when it comes to Gracious Ra, when it comes to accusation to anybody in the country. The first thing you will hear, especially those that are in that group, will say, it's alleged, supposedly, without substantiation. He has not gotten convicted. You cannot claim he's done this. Look, our society has gotten so rotten, so decayed to the point where we refuse to accept things that are destroying the country. Look, let me tell you something. Something is alleged. I will grant you that for a short period of time. If Dwalu slapped somebody on Burrough Street, it is alleged. Even though we got it on video, we got it on evidence, we continue to say it's alleged. But here's the problem that bothers me. The courts and the executive branch will not follow through and take this person to court. And when this person is taken to court, the court blocks it with these injunctions, with these prohibitions, and they don't want the process to go through because they're getting kickback. But this is what this does to the society. Look, I personally believe if a man steals, look, everybody knows everybody in Liberia. We're such a small country, it's not even funny. Look, I visited Calcutta, India. The people so plenty, the whole country get a relay. But we're such a small country, less than 6 million people. Literally, every single person that has served in government, I can put the phone line out here and somebody can explain from the time they started crawling to the time they begin being what they've acquired. We know, for example, most of the guys that was in the CDC administration, and this is also true for most of the guys in the UP administration, none of them started any business. They did not invent the new COPA. They did not invent anything new to which they've gotten money. We know with complete certainty that most of them, probably close to 99.9% of them, got their stolen loot to the government. This is easily verifiable. But we will continue to say alleged when the courts would not try them. Should we say alleged when somebody dies in Riverside because the health budget was stolen? And we say the person allegedly died even though we've buried them? This is how I like to look at it because I'm a realist. I see the consequences of those alleged. We can't keep saying alleged when we will not try these people. While they are lingering, they are continuing to live a lush lifestyle using the people's money. And we just sit there and say, it's alleged because they gave you $20. Look, Nelson, one of the biggest fears that I have for my country, and it scares me heavily, is when one day the young people in the country that are about open, I'm talking about young men below the age of 35. To below the age of 35, I wrote you a letter, a message to the legatees of Liberia, the inheritors of this country. I wrote you a letter. I want you to Google this letter. If they're about open and they fully understand what is their position in government, what is the position in government? We are in serious problem because these young men will demand their piece of the cake, which is Liberia. They will demand a proper place in their society. It's a place to get a job. Let's forget about alleged. But we know $20 million got missing. We continue to say it is alleged. And we will not try these people while they're walking around for decades, sometimes 10, 15 years. They're still walking around saying it's alleged. And when it goes to the court, they bribe the judges and they come out and say, well, I was not convicted of this crime, even though we know what has happened. We are continuing to destroy this country. Yesterday, I posted on my Facebook page, and I'm going to say this to the Labor Minister directly. Mr. Minister, I forgot his name. I want to say this to you, sir. Your job is not to raise revenue. This is not something that should call for celebration. He raised his $5 million, and people in the country are celebrating when we got close to 2 million young Liberian men and women with no job. You're selling work permit to foreigners when Liberians do not have job in the country, and we celebrate this. Let me tell you, your $5 million cost Liberia $50 million. Do you want that kind of money? He's raising $5 million. The labor ministry, their primary responsibility is to ensure labor laws are observed and improved in the country so the country can grow economically. But if your agenda now becomes that you're a labor minister, we are supposed to celebrate you because you raise a meager $5 million when Liberians are massively unemployed, this is a disservice to the country. Economically, you're destroying this country, Mr. Labor Minister. Don't give the foreigners our permits. Let them go elsewhere. Give the jobs to Liberia. You will raise more money through taxes. You will raise more money through the expansionary policies that will happen throughout the country. You will raise more money by direct infusion into our economy through job creation. If my brother Cully gets a job, even if he's making $200, he's going to spend that money in Liberia. Stop selling our work permit and claiming that you are raising revenue. We have the Internal Revenue Agency. There's this responsibility to go ahead and raise revenue. I'm not suggesting if you're an agency and you are doing something, you cannot raise revenue for the government. But your primary duty as a labor ministry is to enforce labor laws. It's to strengthen labor laws. It's to remodify labor laws, re-strategize labor laws so we can improve the labor condition in the country. It's not to go ahead and raise revenue. This is not called for celebration. But I will leave you with this. I want my people to understand. We cannot continue to claim that something is alleged when we see constantly that the country is being torn apart. The former American ambassador to Liberia, Michael McCarthy, took a trip across the country. This is what he said, and I'm quoting here. Well, let me paraphrase because I will not quote him verbatim. I will say this. He said most of the health money that the American government has given to my beloved Liberia did not reach the people to whom it was intended. It didn't reach Riverside. It did not reach Sano or Zwedru. It did not reach the people. The money was stolen in Morovia. And we're saying this is alleged. When the document can substantiate what's happening to our people, have you seen a big better crying by the roadside? Have you seen a big better crying? Let me share a story with you. I'm going to Morovia. Before I close, I'm going to Morovia. I'm leaving Painesville, and I get to EAW Junction. Usually, I get my pickup. I will stop by the junction, just pick up people. When I'm coming, I will bring a bunch of people. LU students that went to LU between 2007 and 2015, they will tell you about Dwalu. I would just pick up people randomly. I never took pick up to town without picking up 15, 20 people. This was like a tradition for me. But it's around dusk, around almost 6:45, almost 7 o'clock. It's getting dark a little bit. And this guy bring his woman, his wife or his girlfriend by the junction. She's in labor, massive labor pain. No taxi will stop for her because she's literally about to explode right there on the floor. Right to the junction, EAW junction, right in front of the Internal Revenue Agency that is built to the junction. I pulled over and she's crying, she's weeping. I trying to get up in the car. She said, "Oh, I don't want to get in your car. Let me get in the back of the pick." I said, "No, mama, it's in a car. Don't worry about it. Get in the front seat." And I had a jacket in the car and I spread the jacket on the back seat. I took her to JFK Hospital, the hospital that I was born in. We get there. The nurses with no urgency of any kind whatsoever. She can walk. But wrong. She can walk. She can come inside. This is a Liberian citizen in pain, about to bear a Liberian child. A child that could possibly discover the cure to malaria. We don't know this, but I'm just saying this is how my mind works. They took their own time. They refused to see this woman until she paid a certain amount of money. Luckily, I have some money on me, and I paid that money. But we will continue to say that it's alleged when this woman could possibly die in childbirth. Most of the childbirth cases in child death, the mortality rate, okay, the maternal mortality rate in the country is happening because of neglect in these hospitals. Liberian citizens, guys. Alleged has to mean something. We can't just throw this word around. When Dwalu stole $4 million from the Republic of Liberia, and we say, but it's alleged, you see Dwalu walking around, flashing all around, just say like a pali fan for him. And then we're saying alleged. Let's stop this. You got 2 years to be tried, push to be tried. The courts must do their job or demand more. Siane, you're the Chief Justice of my republic, of our republic. Your responsibility is far greater than yourself. We have to do the people's job diligently so our children can inherit a proper place. You're welcome to the show, y'all. Let's talk Liberia. Nelson.
Yes, definitely. And that's exactly what it is. And alleged the whole situation of allegation and us always referring to some of the very issues we see before our eyes as alleged has got its roots in a lot of other issues. So you take, for example, even for the media space, here in Liberia, based on the numerous of challenges, even the a lot of media institutions are faced with, some of the big hands will use lawsuit and all of that to intimidate media institutions or even journalists, especially in the case where some of those big stories are reported and involving those individuals. So the whole thing about alleged, in some cases, Mr. Dwalu, it turns out to be the escape route for most people. A lot of people who want to play the professional card, and but at the end of the day, the perpetrators get to see that as a shield and a justification for the code of public opinion not beating on them and stuff like that. But again, this is what it is, and I just hope that as you continue to speak on these issues, the necessary actions will be taken.
I hope so. And Nelson, this is what the disclaimer must be added to my conversation. I'm not suggesting that if Dwalu is accused of a crime, automatically we should convict him in the public space. This is what I'm suggesting. that the judicial system, the executive branch of government that enforces the laws in the country, has to push judiciously. In fact, under our constitution, a man must face his accuser. He must be tried expeditiously. That means very fast. If you hold on, it erodes the weight of justice to some extent. And this bothers me because I'm listening. This thing is alleged. It's alleged. Yeah, he allegedly raped the girl. It's alleged. And we know that 13-year-old now spoiled for life. But we passing around with alleged. And we know the man that did it. But they will not try the man. They will just delay with no action taken. Let me tell you, the reason why that really bothers me is this. This is what causes countries to implode, to go to war, to become chaotic. Let me tell you something. Wars don't come to a country because somebody buys a weapon. I've said this a million times. Wars don't come to a country because somebody disagrees with somebody. Wars come to a country because justice is absent. Wars come to a country because people feel they can no longer have a stake in that country. They feel they're less than in their own country. They don't have jobs in their country. This is what brings wars. They don't have any say in how their government is run. Doesn't matter what they do in the country, they are not going to live a fitting life. There's a video that was trending very briefly on Facebook with Angel Michael, and I believe there's a guy out of Minnesota. You can say, look, y'all in Liberia. Y'all get cool life. You saw that video, right? Y'all get cool life. Like, American people are living with a mom, they're living with a pa, they're living with a day. Let me tell you something. Look, America is the great equalizer. And I really mean this to my core. Look, if you stupid in the country, you know nothing. You know nothing as in an hour you made. On anyone way. So you can do something for yourself. That's what you understand me. I just saying stupid now. Because everybody gotta keep clarifying this thing. I'm just trying to say something. Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to apply no effort, nothing, now 16 an hour or 15 an hour you going to make. That means you can do something with yourself. I understand completely, and I have no doubt in my mind that Liberia can surpass that. Now, I saw my brother, I think, a Temple Dempster say, Dwalu would talk all the good to the day they get Dwalu job in Liberia, he would be like the same people. I understand your position, where you're coming from, because historically, this is how our country's been. Everybody, but here's the thing that I continue to say to my people. A man must meet certain socio-economic standing on his own before he's given certain prominence in government. And I listed those 5 reasons. Everybody here on one of them, we should stick to one woman. It don't mean you don't get all your girlfriend, you won't get girlfriend that business. When I mean stick to one woman, and I have all your children by one woman, yes, mistakes can happen. Because let me tell you something. When a man attaches tremendous value to his wife, to his children, this man forces himself to carry himself in a certain way. I am not suggesting that I'm perfect, but what I'm suggesting is if we're going to build a viable society, the men and women that govern that society must be of the highest moral standards. It doesn't mean you're not going to falter as a human being. A man must make certain amount of money on his own before he comes to government. A man has to own certain things before he comes to government. A man has to reach certain educational important level before he comes to government. At that point, the man's not trying to attain a car because he's already gotten a car in the past. He's not trying to build a house because he's owned a house or he owns several houses. He's not trying to impress anybody because he's a man with a stature that has developed himself to a certain level. His first intention is not to steal. Now, this disclaimer must come again. This is not a suggestion that when a man already has all of that, there will not be some men who steal. But the argument here is, do you really believe that if I go to Liberia, my aim would be to steal? This is why I cannot take any kind of job on anybody, because my mind will not allow me to allow him to do something that is illegal and not be quiet about it. I have to run that operation. It has to be run the way I see fit. Not because I have to take over, but because not only do I have the expertise to do that, but I know the vision that I will have for that entity. So when something happened, they will say, Dwalu did this. They will say, Dwalu did this. It is not, you don't even have to pay me. You keep me in Liberia, you don't even have to pay me. And I will produce the results. I want a standard set in my country where if you are running water and sewer corporation, let's develop a matrix. XYZ managing director, this is your matrix. Year 1, we expect you to accomplish these standards. Year 2, these standards. If year 1 you have not accomplished those standards, you are not fit to run that operation. It doesn't mean, look, every organization in the world have a standard that the managers and the directors and the overseers must meet. In Liberia, they may not be taking a paycheck. But the man got to feed a family. That's his personal problem. Our job is to produce for the Liberian people. If he occupies a managing director position, if he's not producing for the people, he's actually disadvantaging the people. And you're not supposed to say, when you say, oh, but darling, you want to take food from people more. No, you are not taking food from anybody's mouth. You are ensuring food getting Liberian people more. This is the government's job. The government job is not to preserve an individual. It's to preserve the totality, the entirety of our country. These things, we say them because this is how society is developed. It's not about an individual. It's about all of us. All of us. I want Nelson to graduate from AME Zion University, and Nelson gets certain guarantees in this country because he's a citizen of Liberia, that at least we're going to live $500 somewhere or $1,000 somewhere so he can groom his own children and to be better than him. So the progression of our country continues to increase. This is how I think. This is how I think. And this is how I want us to start thinking, young people. It's not about you. Don't go right in the hole. You put all the meat in the pie pan. The pie finna growing low. Dwali will not get any, my hair will not get big on my leg. If it growing, get the meat to the children plenty because they are still growing. This is something we have to groom. Give them more protein. Give them more carbohydrate. Give them everything that they need to grow properly. This is how we should be thinking. Our children have to be better than us. We say this, that's what we want. Listen, me, when Dwali comes to the library, you get enjoy, you will do the same thing. Let me tell you something. There are several, I know, thousands of Liberians across the globe that want to do the right thing. They call me all the time. They want to do the right thing. Doesn't mean they're rich. They don't want a living wage. But they want, because when Liberia better, all make money. Nothing.
Definitely, Mr. Dwalo. And I just want to now try to go to the phone lines to see if we can take a few calls from the folks out there. Let's get to hear what's on their minds, what they say that they would like to talk about tonight. Yeah, so but just before doing that, a few updates here quickly. Just a few updates, then we'll go to the phone line. So the first one is that following the ruling, following the ruling from the. Oh, are we? CEO, welcome, sir. Are we giving it to you now, or we going to the?
Go able to the call. Let's take more call.
No. Dwal was talking about putting all the meat in the power bowl. Did I hear you saying that, Dwal?
Yeah. You
know that Papinas also eat before the children eat?
No. What it? Now before the beginning, at the beginning, eat for
Mama, I don't even know how you even eat it. But it's different culture yet, though.
No, but what I mean is, since you myself will finish growing. We're not getting any bigger or we'll get fatter, but in the beginning growing. No, what I'm trying to do is a mindset that I'm trying to change. That the preference should go. Look, every community here, Nelson, every community, the majority of the money goes to school and expanding the children's mind.
Correct.
In Liberia, is going to government official in packet in a gut. So we cannot grow.
Yeah, but Dwalo, I think you are saying two different things here, right? Let me see if I understand.
I see.
Yeah, but let me understand you now, because when we started the show today, you're finishing the show, you're not running away.
No, I'm here today.
Yeah, because you are finishing the show. I'm gonna say I gotta run somewhere very quick, but I'm here, and because I got a message for some sedition.
Oh, you do I say.
I got a message for some sedition. They will be iron, man. We are family. But Dwalo, I think that it's true. You are quite correct. The mistake, some of the cultural issue that the man got to eat, the children got to sit down. I had a friend, right? I'm not going to call the name, but beyond MTA, they are Madingo people, and I love this guy. We grew up together. We go to the house and eat. They come to our house. We eat everything. People from beyond MTA know them. When I go, the puppy got to eat first. The puppy had 3 women, 3 wives. Yeah. Right? He got to eat first. Then all the children come together, all the boss children will come together to put a food in the beef, but then they go eat with the hand. Yeah. If you drop one red screen, you got to walk around the house and come by where your friend is eating. So I understand that, but I I don't know. I don't think we should continue with that. I agree with you, Eduardo.
No,
I
understand. Look, Stanton, I understand. Look, there are certain traditions and customs that we must keep. Okay, but as societies evolve, there are certain traditions and customs we have to change.
Why you skipping, Eduardo? Your internet skipping.
It's skipping. Agenda, you can give me like it skip you. Nelson, I'm skipping.
I think it's much better now.
Yeah, okay. He was a little bit.
Okay.
Are you in Liberia?
No, member. I still down here. My man, to go to Liberia, not easy thing. You got to cross a lot of T's and dot a lot of I's. Plenty, you know, Liberia.
Just tell the Liberian people the reason why you're in there yet. All that cross the T that we know, my man. Nobody's stupid yet. We understand that the woman still trying to, check and balance you. And I respect my sister for that. When you overstay your first visit, you came out with a lot of story. So you're on the show and saying, I met the finance minister, I met the GSA, I met the NIC, this thing will progress. Your comment is all good, we understand, but you're not telling us the real truth. So you can tell us the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen, share the show. Welcome to Spoon Talk. Listen, you want to hear this one? Again, welcome to the show. Yeah. We are coming to you in your living room. If you want us to send a shout out to you, a very special one, this is the time to do it. You want to send a shout out to you, just call Eduardo, call me, call Dr. Richardson, call anybody. We must do it before we get into our 9 p.m. prime time hour. Yeah. Once we get in the 9 p.m. prime time hour, we can. We got to do the show. Right now to you, I said a shout out to Mike Bana in Delaware. I'm going to start saying my shout out right now.
Yeah.
Go on your Facebook page, share the show. You got so many of them. You got a fake Facebook account. You got a real Facebook account. Share the show. It's going to be very interesting. So from me to you, I really love this guy. Let me bring him on very quick. Let Eduardo see him.
God have mercy upon us.
You know what I think? I was listening to Joseph Koji press conference. Let's say you want to have a stand-up. Let's say you have a press conference. So somebody sent me this one. They said, stand on. Are you listening? I said, what? What's going on? I thought it was breaking news, right?
Yeah.
But listen, Jefferson called your name. What is it, Jefferson?
What did I do?
But what did I do to Jefferson? They say, yeah, but everything I said yesterday about Jefferson was true. I'm not going to make this show about him. So then they send me this in the system. Just watch this.
God have mercy upon us.
So there you have it, my fellow Liberians. That's all you can do. You just laugh it out. Because the best thing you can do, he's not a serious candidate. Yeah. I mean, I just feel for Eduardo, seriously. I would tell somebody, Eduardo, President, we are talking about coming back. Coming back with what? Coming back to do what? You say get a man called Koji behind you. We're coming back, you coming back.
But we're not coming back. Don't let nobody lie to you.
No, he's not. Huh. Listen. I'm concerned, right? I am seriously concerned. Sometimes you look at Bakubwe, right? When a man used to tell me, say, Mama Kokos, what that name he used to call? You saw that other video?
I saw that video. My tattoos.
What is it? My tattoos. Amen. Let me find it though. Amen.
My tattoos.
My tattoos, but my crackers.
Yeah.
For numerous there. Oh, amen. I was saying that, say, Baku.
Yeah, let's go. Baku.
The guy get back because I said the CDC compound out for sale. Yeah.
But I want to get it very
they get back. They will get back.
Stanton, one thing I love about where you can be it, you don't get what they do, they go what they call it. You don't even care. You give movie, you do the thing.
Why in that thing will make me care, Eduardo? You're not running behind me. We came from nowhere. We be you're still running, talking Tabata. We move. Look at the man calling Mama Krakos, Papa Radios.
Yeah.
Let's play this real quick. Dwara will get your show back to you because you
Oh,
know.
I'm thinking of my show. I just want to.
Oh, you finished? No, I want to do this real quick, and you can call your people.
Yeah.
I know you won't call. What's it getting? Seattle Tengwe, right?
See, I thought about my man. The people, my sister now.
Oh, but Nancy, can you put it up because you know that the sedition said, yeah, the sedition said I shouldn't put it up. Oh. Nancy, I sent it to you.
Look, that zeal that CDC had
Okay.
from 2005 until they won an election. Oh, somebody wedding on the 31st. Is that Dwalu?
Yeah.
Oh, but
Shout out to them.
so your man. Okay, but I know you're getting married. I thought you're already married, Chi. We'll talk to you. I'll call you, Chi. But Santa, I want to say happy birthday to my twins. My
I saw it though.
Yeah.
I saw it.
To
Wow.
Yeah, boy.
16 years. 16 years.
11th grader now. They just started 11th grade last week. So the people, you know, they train in. The other picture were in Liberia, been in Liberia a few times, but they turned 16. My daughter Cecilia Dwalu, of course.
Do you have photos of them
Yeah.
to put up? If you want us to put it up because
I
my
don't
wife
know, man.
said-
You know, let me say you something quick. Let me say you something when they were a little bit. I like actually yesterday when I was going to school, I took the picture.
You get Nelson number, just send it up because this phone is acting
Yeah.
as usual. Send it to Nelson and
you
I
know,
want to send a shout out to before you say your birthday child tomorrow that Fadiga daughter birthday too. She turning 16. Today, your children's birthday, right? Today,
the 29th.
Yeah. Tomorrow Fadiga daughter birthday. She turning how you call it 16. Yeah. I asked Fadiga, are you coming? Fadiga said the daughter mom said if you come, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you to report for child support. So I said, but her daughter's birthday, she can do that, you know. So he sent me the woman over to talk to the woman. I planned it after the show to talk to her. You know, she's mad. She got ready to get mad, you know. Fadiga went to Liberia and yeah.
I mean, they get you ready. You can't get away from them too much because they're 5 minutes. I mean, my daughter do it. That time I stay in Liberia, I get punishment almost every day. You call. Ali, the Doja not here. Yeah, this is it. I get all you do that yesterday.
And then say, I don't understand. You wait in Liberia, she want you to order DoorDash, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to do it though.
You used to
one smoothie, just a cup of smoothie, man. They order this cup of and they pin the extra on DoorDash just for a cup of smoothie from the Wawa, and I'm like, are you kidding me? What kind of laziness is that? Yeah, so it's here. So let's play this one. This is George Manawea. I mean, George Manawea loves me, by the way. He does. Listen to what he said. Listen to the law.
I said, but let me just say, people that try to ridicule people, you understand? They say they are clean, they're good, they're not corrupt, and these are the people going to jail, and they still talking about other people. How you can be the best person in the world, you're the most honest person in the world, you're going to jail, and the people that were not going to stay here and working. People that go to jail, they're the one talking that we corrupt. But you see, sometimes those that voice out, they're corrupt. You know what I'm saying? Somebody want to now save their life because they're going to the dungeon of cockroach. You understand? You understand? All the time. Bunch of ignoramus, macatus,
You know, but the last part letter here. Bunch of ignoramus, macatus, and baku.
All they were doing without bother was just fanning him.
Oh man, listen, the limitation of those guys.
They were eating things.
Why do you always express it and people think you are mad? But the limitation of those guys.
It's dangerous.
And for somebody to say that make peace with him, that the only way investor can come in the country.
Yeah. I
look at my brother John Murdo, I say, I wish you well. For 6 years, he was loved by 62% of the vote for 6 years. They voted for him. 14 out of 15 counties voted for the man. He didn't bring any investor in the country.
Hi, Asiata. Your body more here, Asiata.
He took $30 million, he and Samuel Twelve from HPX,
They whack
and he
it.
forced the people to run for 6 years. Then you want us to show him love and tell us that the only way investor can come in the country.
But so let me ask you a question.
I want to show this. I want people to see this, Duadu. You want Joseph Yima Bwaka to show Joawea love. And you are telling us, President Joseph Yima Bwaka, Montel Joawea said, I drop all audit charges against you and your former minister and director. I want Liberian to come hear the one today. You are telling the nation, for the sake of peace, President Joseph Yima Bwaka, he should sign an MOU, memorandum of understanding with George Manawea and say, I will not go after Samuel Tway. As far as the audit report will take us, we'll let it be. Duadu.
Senator,
Are we okay?
there is something more dangerous in Liberia than corruption. And that thing is, for the sake of peace. It is more dangerous than corruption itself. Look, Senator, if I came in your living room and I put my foot on your living room to where your wife ain't cleaning, you knock something in my head. The next thing I want to do, I want to sit down, stay in the middle of the table and be there.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the sake of peace. To maintain peace, there must be order and accountability and punishment. This is the only way you maintain peace. For the sake of peace has gotten us nowhere for almost 200 years. So when somebody says that, as much as I agree with literally everything Molu does and says, I disagree with this entirely. It can never be for the sake of peace. Look, men understand one thing. Look, it's been tried and tested for a million times. We are conditioned to do one thing and one thing only. If I put my hand on this cold bottle of water and I feel like cold, let's say it was super cold outside, I will move my hand, or if it was hot, I will move my hand. It's instant.
I'll give you an example. Let me interrupt you with this. My 1 year, 6 month grandchild are drinking hot tea.
Mm-hmm.
He won't touch it. I take him from there, he used the other hand, he won't touch it. I took it from there, he fretting, he cried. The old man I'm looking, my wife, his grandma sit down there. What the boy crying for? I said, the man won't touch the tea. He still crying, acting that he the man at home. I let him go. He put his hand there, hey, he jack it. So I said, put your hand there again. Then he look at me like this. Then he jack it. The next thing he starts smiling. I say it register in his head.
Register.
That it's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. He would not, and he didn't touch it.
You would never touch it.
And he didn't touch it. He went once he know it, you know hot. Daughter, you are quite correct. You are quite correct. But for us to agree today, and we discuss all this issue, and I put them in the chat room, that we, because we believe that Joawea get 49% of the vote, so we must sign MOU with Joawea. Amen.
But Senator, here's something that people got to know. George Weah did not get 49% of the population of Liberia. Yeah, look, the 62% he got is not Liberia's population. Now, I'm going to give it to President Weah. He did win that. I'm not taking anything from the better. And the voters who do not vote, I blame them for this. But the entirety, most of the time, it's almost less than 60% of the country that is voting. So it's not a whole country. People that I've seen, I don't know what's wrong with them because the consequences of their decisions or their actions or the inaction will still affect them whether they're elected or not. So I don't know why we don't vote. They say, oh, me, I'm not voting. Anytime you vote at the same thing, it will become more of the same thing the less you vote. The more you vote, the more likely we are to pick the candidates that will actually transform the country. You have to vote.
You got to vote, right? Hello? Okay, I think we go. Let me say this again, Eduardo, to you, seriously, and to Nelson. If you ask me, why don't Joawea get 49% of this going election? I will tell you that lie.
Yeah, of course. I know.
I'll tell you that lie. As much as they try to rig the election, we beat them to the election. We beat them to the game. But let Liberian hear this thing today because we get the free time. I want to wish you happy birthday, Heron Super Woruba. He said, my man, you wish me happy birthday from Columbus, Ohio. Let me wish you happy birthday. And I want to say that again, you need to understand. We'll be talking today about Augustine P. Gaffroy, appointed today as Minister of Finance. It's right there. Augustine P. Gaffroy, appointed today as Minister of Finance. Joseph Boakai brought him in, replacing the acting, the acting minister. He's a deputy minister, or what's his name again?
Myers.
He's there. Yeah, Myers. Thank you. We also want to be talking about the CSA cellular memo. This is right there. Talking about 6,000 and some more. I have some question about this. I have a lot of question on this based on the fact that this thing, some people from Small Arm reached out to me, their names, and they said because Josiah Joker said they didn't sign in, so he fired them. We got a lot of names that on the Small Arm from Labor Ministry and other places, and the ghost name, pros and cons, we would like to hear from you. I also want to bring this. Like we said yesterday, as you can see, this is it. Your friend, Nathaniel McGill, drop everything, drop it, and say, I'm good. Withdraw, dismiss. I'm not putting the rate, I'm not putting in the rate of prohibition again. His lawyer, Serena Cephas, left him. So, with all these things and many more to come, we'd like to say thank you for joining Spoon Talk. It's not 5 o'clock yet, it's not 9 o'clock yet. So we say here, you get anything to say, we want to hear from you. You know, serious something happened yesterday. Madam Gloria Musunska and the 3 other defendants, they were set free yesterday. You understand that Jose Yiman Boakai is leaving the country for 7 to 8 days, something I believe. He's traveling. You also understand that, again, Jeremiah Kuhn is on his way back to Liberia from Dubai. Jeremiah Kuhn is on his way back to Liberia from Dubai. You understand that Yomli Kanga Lawrence and the rest of them attending the legislature program in China. You understand that Funati Kufa, we get that clip coming up. He said that, listen, the president didn't call us back. We called ourselves back. It's kind of conflicting though, but I really want us to listen to what he said. And then I will give it to Eduardo. Hey, Eduardo, did you hear that? He said the president didn't call them back. They called themselves back.
I've not seen the whole thing, but somebody sent me, and I saw it very briefly. But send them before I forget, man. To my sister, Vera Horace, I want to say happy 25th wedding anniversary. I want everybody to understand it. The very people, when they say the pillars of the society, that people that Vera Horace and Mr. Horace, and you and your husband, happy anniversary for sticking it together, for building a strong Liberian family, but most importantly, for uplifting our community and making us stronger as a people. Happy anniversary, my sister. All right, man, Stanton. You're muted. I think you come back in, you're muted.
No, I waited for you to finish speaking, Pastor. You know, I don't understand Pastor. I'm not a Bazorian, and I love to give you guys respect because thank God Glennie is not on the show today. I believe Fatima is coming on. You got Fadika, he's joining us. I want to speak to the nation in a very special way today. Let's talk about the CSA. Let's talk about other issues. Nelson, where you going at? I want to put us this thing about Funati Kofa. Funati Kofa will be in the United States attending the EULA program in Atlantic City. Again, J. Funati Kofa will be in the United States attending the EULA program. The EULA program. What do you make of the EULA program, Tuadu? I mean, I always hear about this.
EULA for me, EULA been around for a long time. When we are even talking about the diaspora fund, people like EULA, we should be looking to them to see how. Now, the question I will ask to EULA is that what did EULA do on a substantial level that we can improve now? I'm not saying EULA is not relevant. It's a relevant organization, but I think all the small county of Grand Bassa, of Grand Jida, of Nema should all go under that umbrella. This is the only way we can do something bigger than ourselves in the country. But I don't know what EULA is doing, but then again, I don't know a lot about EULA. So there's so much I can say.
Yeah, I agree with you. Nelson, I sent you the video. Can you please put it up? It's not coming up from my end, please.
Okay.
Again, I would say this to you. UDA is a great organization, but I do believe that it's about time to speak truth to power. I do believe that they should just muscle up and do the right thing for the sake of the Liberian people. I think under their leadership, the new leadership, they are trying. It's not easy. You know, as a Liberian, yeah.
Did Maggie ever give you money?
Huh?
Did Maggie ever give you a lot of money that he promised them? Which part you are for?
I mean, you and my conversation, I get it, is that you will say Maggie are my friend.
But I don't know.
I don't think Maggie. No, but they had this big problem, right? With Kamara, the former president. I think they have resolved it. They had a serious issue. Kamara was refusing to leave. I don't think that McGill or the government of Liberia gave them the 100,000 that were promised. They just promised them, but they didn't give it to them. We should be on record to say that. It's kind of like embarrassing. But UDA is a great organization, and I will encourage every Liberian to get to know about UDA even more. UDA can go places that you cannot. UDA should be able to help with immigration status, with social status. UDA should be able to help with your bread and butter issue, getting connected here in America. UDA organization is so big, and the American recognize UDA. But here we are today saying the same thing because we are not united. We are not united. So they have the program today. I mean, I'm doing this free. Let me say that, Dr. Bobler, welcome to the show. They have the big program today in Atlanta City. Not today, this coming month in Atlanta City. They have the big program, and the keynote speaker is Jay Funati Kofa. Is Funati come to promise them some money again? Or I mean, what Funati come to tell them? We'll wait. We want to just say to every one of you, share the show. We'll pause for a few seconds. As you share the show, please call your name. We want to recognize you. A lot of you guys follow us. And Dwadu, to tell you the truth, yesterday, we're able to raise. Were you on the show yesterday, Dwadu? You left early, right?
No, I wasn't on the show yesterday.
Oh, somebody said you were traveling. So now we see that you're in Liberia. So again, I want to say $911 were raised yesterday to buy some microphone and other things for the young men, the network. We're going to put the cash app up again. If you want the Zelle, we'll put the Zelle phone number up as well. But we want to say thank you to all those that continue to contribute. You said don't call my name, but I want to appreciate Toba Yenswa. Again, they are contributing on the Zelle. We raised $300 and something on the Zelle. On Cash App, $911. We want to keep it up. We want to buy the microphone. When the guys go, we want to buy the rim boot, the jacket, the helmet. We want to buy the umbrella. You want to pay for it. I am not paying for it. If you like Spoon, you pay for it. Glenny promised to send us her own Zelle. She did it. Somebody please tell Glenny. A promise is a promise. Fadiga promised to send $50. I don't know how much she's sending.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah, it's $100. One of the things that $149. One of the microphone that $149. That the Bobler said he would send his own. So we want to say, I mean, that's the best you can do. You know, everybody will send their own.
Hey man, I'll send my contribution.
There you go.
Yeah, the Cash App, the Zelle is up, and Bobler, you, I don't know what kind of internet or that your computer.
Yeah, it's getting feedback.
It's you really got to check it out. Maybe you guys are not treating you well. Yeah, you got to check the internet company up, Dr. Bobler.
What's wrong with it?
You're good now.
You're good now, but you came out with that strong feedback.
It has that squeaky sound behind it. Like, yeah. Or maybe send them mute. Send them mute that the preventer that which is on it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh. That I mean. You see? That I mean.
All right, so when you're ready to speak, we all will mute ourselves and you speak. So when we're speaking, just mute yourself. Maybe it will help. You got it? Are we good now, right? Good. Welcome to the show, Dr. Bobler. Welcome to the show, Mr. Duadu, whose daughter's birthday will be tomorrow. She turned 16. But he stayed in Liberia because I think
twins. Not just my daughter.
No, not you. That Duadu's daughter tomorrow.
Oh no, I thought you got daughter tomorrow.
You know what? You're right. La Fadiga daughter tomorrow. Yeah, I'm sorry. I
But
missed
then
you
the other
guys.
song,
You guys look alike, though. You guys really look alike. So
well,
I missed
wait
you.
me. Wait me.
I'm a bossa brother.
We gotta call your papi to see whether you made a mistake. So
Hey, boy, really give up. So, everything. Oh,
ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to share the show? We're gonna pause. We're gonna tell you, please, if you share, give a thumbs up. Or just let us know that you share the show. Please, we're just gonna wait for you. Share the show. If you share the show, let us know. Dwalu, take it away. Let's see who all sharing. We want to
Yeah,
recognize them.
Sharon Kim Hart, she's already shared. Sharon Vera Horace has shared as well. Tutu Yantu Koroma, you're watching. I didn't hear you say you share. Victor Sumo, please share the show. Patrick Doe, how are you doing? Atina, is that Sagacious? Welcome to the show. DHL. I see Kubo Parker from Painesville. How are you doing? My brother Tepo speaking them so say you already share. How you doing, my brother? How's everything? NGY, Nelson D-Man shared as well. James Kroma, he also did. Lady Dixon. Brother Dixon, what's going on? How's everything with you? I see Edwin Jones from Barnesville. Is that Barnesville or Barnesville? Little Barnesville. How are you doing? Thank you so much for sharing the show. I see Henry Toba out of Banga. What's going on, my Mr. Massacre? Joseph Massacre out of Corwell. Hello there, out of Corwell. Mr. Bala, what's going on, man? Thanks for sharing. Theophila Square has also shared. Chokon Flammer, our own Spoon brother. What's going on? James Jala Jr., he shared as well. Tita Herman, what's going on? Thanks for sharing. Over here, I see Afonso Patti. Alfred Cowboy, I love Hopper, Maryland County, way out there in Maryland County, man. Big shout out to Maryland. I hope you guys are doing great out there. Continue to look to Monrovia and not Ivory Coast for your goose. That's your country. I see Mark Chia has shared as well. Kelvin Doleseth. Is that Wonderful? I hope I say your name right. That went by very fast. Siata Timber, what got to him by you earlier. Siata, thanks for coming, my brother Sam Zo out of Cox City. Welcome, Bummy King. How are you doing? Welcome to the show. Salut Soiree, Matthew Jala. Everybody, man, for across the country. Big shout out to Vonjima, wherever you are, to Robert Sport. I saw some swimming out there. Somebody sent me a beautiful Robert Sport. I want to say hi to Hopper up in Ganta, Banga, across the country, my beloved Buchanan. Buchanan people, how you doing? How you doing out there? How's the rain? Hopefully it's not raining too much most recently, and especially to Monrovia. Welcome to the show. Yeah, like I told Liberia.
So let's set the same motion. Eduardo, you will take care of the show. We're going to put up the topics for today. We want to hear you. Nothing too much happening in the country. The president will be leaving. They send it. The House of Legislature have been called back, right? They say you'll come back. Or we get one of them saying, well, the president called. The Senate said the president called. The representative saying no. The president didn't call us. We called ourselves. How can we balance that? That the public, you would tell us. One group saying the president called. Another group saying no, the president didn't call us. We get Augustin Pay Gafoua. He's a new finance minister. What is he bringing to the great discussion? How can he transform the country economic problem? Again, we move on to say a lot of stuff happening, but where you are right now as a country, John Baloo, our dear friend and brother, he said in a write out today, for everlasting peace, for investor to come in the country, Joseph Yima Bokrokpo Bwaka should go and invite George Banawea. That they should sit down and talk. This would drive investor into Liberia. I want us, if you found that, Nelson, please call it bit by bit. It's in the chat room. And put it up. I want us to have a serious conversation on this because it is important. John Baloo, our dear friend and brother that come on the show every day, and give me John Baloo picture, please. The former AG. He said, for DIGA, Liberian people, for investors to come in the country, and I understand the context of his argument here. But I want you to be part of this discussion. And before you do, I want you to understand that Joe Manuel was there for 6 years now. 6 years. How many investors you saw coming into Liberia? Joe Manuel, he was there 6 years. Joseph Yima Bwaga didn't get mad at all. Joe Manu didn't write this letter to say, for you to succeed, Joe Manuel, talk to Joseph Bwaga and have some form of MOU, understanding, and have a peace accord. But today, put John Malu picture if you get it. You're my brother and friend. But today, he is telling the Wall Street, the European Union, AOU, ECOWAS, UN, he wrote us. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in this mighty chat room, I'm about to put this out on Facebook. We should sit down. The president, Jose Iman Bwaga, should do a meet and greet with Joe Manuel. Duaru, Fadiga, Dr. Bople, you're all in the chat room. It was a huge argument today in our chat room. A very big one. Now, hey, issue. If you're left with issue, what do you mean?
Becoming
money leaving. Right, money coming.
Money leaving? Oh, no, I'm not scratching it. No.
I just made that up.
Money leaving, I'm not scratching it. No. I want the one of money coming. But again, I want to say to all of you, I will give it to you, Mr. Duaru. Do you think, and please put it up. You got it, Nelson? Nelson, you got it?
I think he's uploading it.
I'm uploading it now. It's
so
coming
you got
up.
it. Good, you got it. So let's take a peek at this great conversation. Nelson want to upload it. It will be one of our conversations. We'll talk about Augustin Paye Gafwan. We'll talk about Nathan Fado Miguel withdrawing his letter. We're going to talk about other issues here because today is a quiet day. The president now going to Indonesia and other places. He preparing his trip here and there. He'll come end up to the United Nations next month or whatever the time is. But guys, when John Modu speak, people listen. What say you, Mr. Dualu? Talk to the Liberian people today. For investor to come to Liberia, do you think Joe Manuel should have an audience, an MOU with Jose Iman Bwaga?
First of all, President Weah is not as determinant as to whether investors come to the country or not. We agree to understand with Mr. Mulu in terms of sitting with two presidents sitting down together and talking. There's nothing wrong with that. I think we should encourage that for the country, and there's nothing wrong with that. But where I have the issue with is that for bygones to be bygones, we should set aside the audit reports where hundreds of millions of United States dollars were stolen from the Liberian people. All the audits should be set aside, and that's going to bring about peace. There has not been a single time in human history where that has brought about peace. In fact, the opposite is more true than what the former he's describing. And letting crimes go unpunished never brought peace anywhere. It exacerbated the problem, it compounded the problem, and then eventually it exploded. And then people suffer because people let things go. Sit with the president, have a conversation, and have peace in the country. But I'll tell you this, investors do not look at what people are doing individually. This is what investors look at. They look at adequate infrastructure in the country. They look at the possibility of a massive profit for their business that they're going to invest. They look at the security sector as to whether their investment is going to be secure. They look at the workforce, how educated they are to be able to make sure they can produce in our society. And they look at the export or the import opportunity for their goods and services to go to market. If all of those are met, they don't care about the little brouhaha. If that was the case, some of the most 4 areas around the world will not have any business. Business people see opportunity, they will seize it, even if there is chaos there at times. I think Dr. Proper was next, yeah.
Let me say this. I disagree with John since this morning, and we've been at it since this morning. And I read his article. I think it's very flawed. I totally disagree with him. In everything, I think there's one place. I don't believe that two leaders, former or current leaders, shouldn't talk. So talking, there's nothing wrong in talking. I think, like Madame Saliv and any other past president, once in a while, but they can talk to each other. So that is standard, and so I don't see anything wrong with that. But to insinuate that the country is divided and that if this president is not mindful, he should suck up to the former president because we need stability and other things, it is wrong. President Boyka, for the last, when George Weah took over, he never mentioned his name for the first 3 years. Some of us were mad. I was mad at him at that time. He never mentioned it. He said there's only one president at a time. And he was very gracious. You come right barely 7 months after you leave office, you carry on civil disobedience, actively involved, putting your people in the street, trying to carry on, subvert the activity of this common president. Look, Stanton, these guys are it's so bad that they cannot even mention the president by his name. I don't know whether any of you have noticed this. In all the speeches, they call President Boyka or Mr. Boyka, and they refer to former President Weah as president. Do you know how disrespectful that is? Do you know what message you send to your partisans? It's like you are not recognizing the authority of a seated president. And there is this myth that the country is divided. I even wrote an article, if you go on my page, you will see it. Look, 2.4 or 2.5 million people registered to vote. Out of those people, only 1,840,000 people actually voted in the election. When you give the 20-something political leaders that took a lion's share, the two ruling big party took at least half of that amount. This country have almost 5.5 million people, most of whom didn't vote. Is that how you do your math? That's 40 math. That's where I say John math is wrong. Because the math is not taking into consideration the entire population that was.
Hold on right there. Hold on right there. Hold on, Fadiga. Fadiga, I think you're making a very, very unique argument here. You are. Seriously. People, it should ring the mind of people.
It's never
if someone saying that based on the voting population and those that voted as the.
You can use that.
That's a country population. It's wrong.
It's wrong. It's faulty mathematics.
Because our last report, we are 5.5 million, right? 5.4, 5.5, right?
5.4, yeah. 2020.
Out of the 5.4, how many people voted?
The valid vote, 1,840,000.
Less than 2 million people. 1.82.
I would say 2 million. What become of the other 3 million? No. I would say 2 million. What become of the other 3.4 million?
In all of those 2 million, you know that we how many for the substance political parties?
Well, if they just look at, if they try to say, well, this is how it would be, then the argument is right. But I think you're making some very unique argument, Fadiga, to say that no, it is totally wrong. I disagree with it though. But to say that, well, the only way investor can come in the country, I would agree with what Tuadu said. Well, for peace sake, they can sit down. But who will call?
We are not at war. So what is peace sake?
No. We are at political war here. It may not be a physical war shooting, but we are at political war here. And the second thing here is that it didn't happen during the 6 years of George Weah.
Exactly.
Joseph Boyka, he was quietly sitting, running the office of a former vice president, engaging folks, doing his humanitarian work. Right, Dr. Bople? Did Joseph Boyka call people to party headquarters and say we disagree? Did Joseph Boyka say, no, I will call ECOWAS on you, George Weah? Did Joseph Boyka say, no, the last time George Weah came out and said he helped Joseph Boyka with something to go to hospital, it was all over the news. What did Joseph Boakai do? Joseph Boakai said, okay, don't give it to me again.
He never
I don't
responded.
want it.
Yeah.
He was quiet. So, but what is it now, right now, that we would jump up and say, because the investor only want to see Jawea in power. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got to hear this. Dr. Bobler talked to us. Something is missing here.
All right, so thank you, Stanford, and greetings to my friends and all the viewers and listeners. So let's set a few things straight. So Fadika already set it up, because the other night our good friend Isaac Doe said 2 million people. He kept quoting that 2 million people. Well, 2 million people didn't even vote. So the president, we could not have gotten 2 million. That's one. Two, even if you assume that he got 1 million people, 1 million people are not on the street for nothing. They're looking for their children's school fee. They're looking for a cup of rice. It is the people who have the most to lose. They're the ones who are concerned. So even if 2 million people voted for you, remember now, we do not have value-driven politics here, okay? This is not conservative versus liberal. This is personality politics. I let Jawea, I let Papi, or I don't let Jawea. So after the election, don't fool yourself into thinking that you got 2 million people behind you. They coming, they're not. They're looking for money to pay their children's school fee and buy the paracetamol from the clinic.
Thank you.
Three, and this was important, your standard, unto whom much is given, much is required. I am personally very disappointed. The president and his team just left state power. They enjoy the perks and the privileges of leadership. They have a greater responsibility us keep the peace to support this new government, and by so doing support Liberia. We see too much grandstanding going on. They call Senator McGill to go to LACC. People go there to demonstrate. You say if you touch one sedition, a whole lot of people coming after you. That is not a responsible way to govern. Let me close here. Getting together with the two presidents, that's a great idea. Always good to have a conversation. And yes, we want to foster peace and stability. But let's just be real. 6 years with President Weah, investor income. So don't kid yourself now by saying if they sit down in a meeting, then all the investors will come running. I think it was Dualu who hit it on the head. Investors look at other things, infrastructure, opportunity, cash flow, purchasing power, all those things. So sitting down with President Weah does not make investors come into the country. President Weah needs to support and President Boycott. He has a responsibility to do that, and all seditions should do that. Stop the grandstanding. Election is over. It's time to govern.
And that just to buttress you, the thing about division, there is no country in this world that doesn't have division. Division is a natural part of politics. No two people agree with the same thing. In America, either conservative or Democrat, or those that find themselves in the middle. Even on we are divided. It's not about the division. It's just about how we respect one another and understand that there can only be one president at a time.
I'm going to end on this. I really do. I want to end on this from my side, and I think Eduardo will continue with the program. It is important for us to understand, guys, for the sake of peace, when that time comes, they will meet, they will shake hands. But you forgot the inauguration day that Jawea left the country on that same day. That same day he left the country. I know we're here talking about peace. It's okay. We all want lasting peace. The same Jawea went to his party headquarters. What did he say? Jawea should be the one to muster the courage and actually prove and show the peace that he's talking about. And I think Joseph Boakai welcomed it. But let's do this. It will never stop Joseph Barker from exercising that which he promised to Liberian people to audit. The fear is that sedition and threat of the audit. And Joseph Barker must audit. If the Supreme Court say anything else, is unto them. But you want Joseph Barker to call Joey and say, we're not auditing no more? So can you go to the phone and let us the Liberian people what they want? Should Joseph Barker call Joey and say, let us make peace and we will stop the audit? Is that what you want? Is that what you're talking about? So it means that everybody that stole the money, the Samuel 12, 6.2 million will forget about it. The accusation on Nathaniel McGill, though they have not put the figure out yet, whether it's 20 million, 100 million, we must forget about it. The senator that eating their own, we must forget about it. The audit at LTA, Fishery, CBL, NSA, everywhere you go, that audit, we must forget about it. Is that what you want? Go to the phone line.
That's a good place to start from, Stanton. Let the people tell us if that's what they want. I don't think Liberian people want that. Let's go to the phone line. Let's hear from our people. Let's take a lot of calls and see what they have to say. Because
Okay, so the number to call now is 0555-101075, 0555-101075. We'll put the WhatsApp up so that you get to call in and have a say on this conversation here tonight. Hello? Your name and where you calling from? Yes, sir. Let's hear you. You are live on the show.
Thank you to the panelists. Good evening to every one of us. My name is Segu Fofana, calling in from Do Community. You know, see, you are begging, don't scratch your V. As Joseph Barker, he said, what the money what we gain. Now, Barker never get money that we voted the men for accountability. So nobody, anybody think on that, maybe you see the or different part of the world, but not Liberia. Accountability, Barker take money. We sponsor our own campaign. We print a t-shirt for ourselves. We feed people in our own way. So we accountability. Brother Barker can't even try that thing.
Thank you.
Nobody, not even thinking on it. So you are begging, don't spoil your energy for that.
Thank you very much for your input. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
This is me.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you.
This is Theophilus.
Can you go ahead again? Please say your name again. Your line is not.
This is Theophilus Quay.
Okay, Theophilus, let's hear you.
I'm joining from Jonesville.
Okay.
I'll follow tonight. You know, corruption as a matter of fact is never a good thing for any society. It derails country. It spoils everything. So corruption, personally, I know it's not a good thing. But my brother, for us to fight corruption, we have to avoid including political parties into the fight. What do I mean? Because party A is in power, for example, it shouldn't be that party A is the one that's doing everything to fight corruption.
Thank you.
Let corruption be wholly and solely on the judiciary system.
Thank you very much.
People feel that they are being targeted. So let's allow the judiciary system to fight corruption. Let us take our time. This is not party A and party A matter. It's judicial matter. This is a country of law.
We'll have to hold you there and take another person. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please go ahead. You're live. Your name and where you calling from?
My name is Amita and I call you from Red Light.
Let's hear your take on this issue.
Yeah, we're talking about peace. Yeah, we agree that whatever our president needs, it will be okay for us. But you shouldn't tell us that alone will bring investor. That's a blinking lie. Because all the chase years is stay in power. So it is only well how the government will proceed. Then you will see investors coming.
Thank you.
But not making peace.
Thank you very much. Hello? Your name and where you call from?
I'm calling from 72nd Boulevard.
Okay, Winifred, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yes, what are they scoring there? I'm surprised at even the one who suggested that You see, this country is not just for alone, it's for us, the young people. No one should see our money and think they will go free. Whoever that is involved in today, when the law proves them guilty, let them be put on last.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, your name and where you joining us from?
I'm Chuku Matthew, calling from my residence.
Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
That's wonderful. But listen, the problem here is that whosoever that stole these Liberian people money, let them go to court. Because the problem here is whenever they don't go to court, they will create another problem. They will continue every time. So therefore, whosoever that is guilty should go to court. What are they afraid of? What is the people afraid of?
Thank you. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm actually calling from Tristan, but
Go ahead quickly, sir. Let's hear you.
Look, they open a police Georgia friendship with me for Israel to come. We now want Georgia investor. Because if Georgia investor will always be people that want to take it for themselves. So let him please go and sit down on the football field with his investor. If he is investor, no, okay. If he is national investor, then go with investor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
Hello,
Yes, go ahead, please.
I'm James F. Dennis calling from the township of Louisiana.
Go ahead.
If Honorable Madu is saying Honorable President Braga should forget about all it, then I think we'll just put it to go on the street to continue and steal, we'll just forget about everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This person, hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yes, you are live. Quickly, let's hear you.
Yeah, my name is James. I'm calling from Bon County.
Your take on this issue.
Yeah, I just want to ask this question. Will your family be hungry in the room and you the head of the room? You pull, you not get it, you go, you start putting law.
So what's your point, sir?
My point is, Liberia, we are very, very suffering now. Even the corporate to eat. Now in Bonga to buy half for 1,700. Then you telling me we should go to law with somebody else that get money. How would that be?
Thank you very much. Let's go to the WhatsApp and take some calls now. Hello, you're live. Your name and where you calling from? Yeah.
I'm James Harris.
Mr.
calling
Harris.
from Japan.
Let's hear you quickly.
Yeah.
Your take.
Yeah, my man, concerning this issues that are on the ground right now, there's no way that we should compromise with the criminal. So those that steal our money, the government having a right to go after them. They need to be going to jail.
Thank you very much. Let's hold you there and take another person. 0555-101075. We have the WhatsApp number here as well. You can call and weigh in your thoughts. Let's take this person. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, your name and where you joining us from? Hello. Okay, Mr. Dwalu, I think I will give it back to you.
Yeah, and before I even go to the guys, the guy that just called from Bon County, and he made a comment. Why should we be trying to enforce the law when people are hungry in Bon County or they cannot get rice in Bon County? My brother in Bon County, thank you so much for calling, but I want to say this to you. To put food on your table, not just one time, but consistently for you and your children, the law has to be enforced. I know you don't see it when you are hungry yet, but these things has to be instituted. Is that you're building a 5-story house. When you did the B foundation, you start dumping cement there, you can see nothing yet. How you looking? But if we don't stop now, your children will come and be in the same position that you're in. That's what we got to enforce the law for. It's going to be hard. I get what you're saying. Honorable Baga has to pay attention to that as well. But primarily, we have to enforce the law to discourage this kind of theft from the people so more food can be in the country. So you yourself, you can be put on the massive farm and we can produce our own rice locally. This is the goal, and this is how it starts. We got to build institutions that protect the people from thieves. And this is what the law enforcement does. Dr. Prope, you comment on the callers.
Yeah, so the caller, Dwalu, is talking about what's most important to him and his family. And that's how we look at it, right? We call it the bread and butter. So you're talking about most important. The bigger environment make the bread and butter, right, more available, more affordable, and more accessible to ordinary Liberians. And so the conversation we're having tonight about the posturing of our past president and his party for the most part is important because it affects ordinary Liberians being able to get a bread and butter. So that's why it is important for the past president and his party to step up to the plate and be a little more responsible. Don't hold this country hostage because even if President Boyka won with only one vote, Dwalu, he now is the constitutional president of the republic, which means he has authority over every square footage of the property called Liberia. We have to respect him, we have to come alongside him, and we have to support him. Because if he succeeds, Liberia succeeds. And if he fails, Liberia fails. We cannot afford failure. So I call on all my CDC friends, all the other non-UP people, Liberia time now. You know, people say, but Doc, you got this part together, but you always try to talk objective. Yes, because my loyalty have always been to the Republic. I am first and foremost loyal to Liberia. And as far as I'm concerned, election over, it's time to be Liberians, to come together and to move forward for all of our good. So that caller right on point. All they're talking about thing that matters. But the thing we're talking about will affect what happens to ordinary Liberians, whether it's in Bong or any other county in the Republic.
Thank you. Fadiga, your comment to the callers, your response.
Well, the callers are right, especially the last one I was talking about is something. Look, when you have the kind of massive looting that we've witnessed based on the other reports that we are reviewing, you will know why the country is where it is today. But I would say this, and I would say this to my own government. We have to find a way to create jobs for our people. We have to get our people working. We have to find a way to open up the rural area. We have electricity in Nima along the borders. We have more stable electricity. Carry those factories up there. Start something. We need, I don't know how. There are a lot of ways we can do it. But we need to pay attention because one of the things that we have on our side is that the rest of the opposition black are still responsible enough. They have a lot of responsible folks, the Cummings, the rest of the folks that are still out there. They are watching. They are looking at the terrain. They know that they understand some of the things, the challenges that this government is faced with, and they are willing to wait. So this is why we need to put our best footing forward first. Because at some point, look, I get nervous. We live in a world right now. Tomorrow there could be some bird flu or some coughing virus, and the whole world could be shut down again. But then the people will be very unforgiving. They don't care whether the government trying to put things in place and something. Things are happening very fast. So, and because everything is in the world right now is kind of interwoven, we have to be very careful to do the right thing first, so that if we have the real legitimate reason to make excuses, then we can make those excuses. So I still believe that propaganda strive when they have even 1% truth to what in those that are saying. So we need to do the right thing. I see the government. We need assets recovery. We need to focus on that. We need to start holding people accountable, because that is one place that at least the Liberian people will say, you know what, they didn't build road, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. But the fact that they are putting in place this deterrent mechanism, we are happy.
Yeah, but Fadiga, thank you very much. If they do that, roads will build themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, they'll have that domino effect.
But the next thing on the docket was about McGill, but we're gonna skip that very briefly because Fadiga mentioned something, and I'm gonna go to that abroad play. He will be the great person to talk about this, given his background on the issue of job creation in the country. Dr. Bropen, literally every single Liberian who can read above 12th grade has recommended one way or another how we can create jobs in the country. So it doesn't mean we don't know how to create jobs. But over the last 50, 60 years, We have literally refused to create jobs in the country when the opportunities are almost endless across the country. Most recently, you travel across the country, you almost to your country, you saw what is out there. Why don't we think we give priority to job creation in the country? Why don't every government at least look into that area? We never do. Why, Dr. Brobe?
So, Tualu, I just came from the Western Cluster. I was in Bombing, I was in Bapolu, I was in Kipma. And to tell you the truth, when you go to these places, you see challenges and you see opportunities. This government would create a legacy if they make private sector expansion a priority. Constantly creating government jobs, those are low productivity jobs. You can't just keep creating jobs in the government. I drove to Ravenswood and I'm looking at this beautiful scenery and I'm imagining the Miami that we could create along that little 6-7 miles. Tourism, jobs, the fishery industry along the water. But the road is so bumpy. By the time you get into Ravenswood, your back so you feel like you need a massage. The government needs to prioritize private sector expansion. I will tell you though, because I was there as part of the county development agenda on behalf of the president. One of the best things he's doing, I believe, is the CDA, and from there will come the county action plan. If he has the will, and I hope he does, to not just decentralize administratively, but politically, so it can fuel economic decentralization, we will start to build something novel, jobs from the bottom up, and that would be the strongest, sustainable way to develop our country. So I think he's on the right path. And the outside of Monrovia, the challenges are many. I went to elementary school, Fadiga, with only one teacher in the whole elementary school. I went to a county with no ambulance at all. So the needs are great, but so is the opportunity. Okay. And I think we're starting the right way. Decentralize, trust people. You know, every time I hear people say, well,
can you expand on the opportunity a little? I know you talk about the challenges. Can you expand on? I'm curious, you know.
The opportunities are many. So, okay, let's just take the stretch to Ravenswood, right? So you got that road, right? In fact, the road is already open wide, but you know, a dusty road. So when it rains, it's bumpy and pothole everywhere. So you take that road and you pave that road. I don't know for sure, but it's probably about 5-6 miles. You pave that road. You know, Fadika and you do in the other side across the river, when the people developing, what they do, the first thing they do is put a road there. As long as you see the road, you know development coming. We got planned community coming. So if you put a road there, a paved road, I'm talking about that great road, a paved road, it already makes the place attractive for investment, shops and businesses, tourism. That's the place that did a surfing thing. Right there. There's a beautiful place. You create jobs and then more revenue come to government. So that's just one opportunity. The mining, you know what I mean, in Bapolu, a county that is resource rich but is pathetically poor. You know, so the opportunity is there. So I like what the president is doing, but you have to have the political will. And I believe he will. I hope so. Because otherwise it will just be a lot of money wasted, documents accumulated, and dust will fall on it. But I pray not.
Yeah, but Fadiga, let me come to you, Dr. Brobe. Thank you very much. Look, I have no doubt this is something I've spoken about extensively over the last 3-4 years about job creation in the private sector. And I made an argument that Honorable Boubacar will not be considered a president that succeeds if he does not create private sector job. Fadiga, let me ask you this question. Most recently, we gave $11.8 million to our legislators to go to the counties and pretend as though they are doing something for the people when it's the people's own money they're going to be using. If we targeted $11.8 million into Nima County, given the population, that we found an industry that we can invest in and expand through the private sector. What kind of jobs are we talking about creating? In fact, I published a paper where we can create 100,000 jobs in the span of six years if you listen and follow these models. And I lay out the industries we can invest in. None of them is mining, none of it is iron ore, none of it is natural resources. Everything is real job creation in the country to increase the tax base. What is your position, Padiga? Uncle Sam, welcome.
Let me say this. This is where I agree with Doc about not just decentralizing the economy, but the politics. Look, in America, there's a common saying that all politics is local. Washington, D.C. barely dictates what goes on in the local communities. And the reason why this comes to mind is because when the people are given the full authority to decide what goes in and out of their community, they can make good decisions. Look at the villages. It's like, villages. So using that similar model, let's assume we have city manager where they bring their own superintendent who could be like the governor, and then we have city mayors and city managers and all those different things that will be able to manage their own budget. Not someone in Monrovia throwing decision, throwing whatever they want at them, but they can be able to come together as a community and say, you know what, we do not want this ghetto in our area, and they can get it out. They want X, Y, Z things in the area, how it is done in America. I think we can make progress because you know what? There will be a healthy competition among the different counties. Take, for example, Nima County. I always reference Nima County. Nima County, the development and the success in Nima County is enviable. Sometimes I wish my own county, Grandmaster County, and other counties could emulate the good examples. There are so many successful young men, even up to millionaire, that come from Nima County. And because it has it's kind of contagious effect. Hold on, there's a big mouse here. It's scary. It has that contagious effect. A lot of folks now, I'm fighting. I was even talking with someone from Nima County and said the young men now, everybody moving from the city and building their own range. So why this is important? Instead of sending hundreds of thousands or 11 million to lawmaker, which they have to use it for their own, to promote their own image in that era. If we had a strong local government that would be able to manage, that is of the people, by the people, that will be able to manage their resources. Look, there's nothing, the possibilities are endless. But if we rely on politicians and bureaucrats in Monrovia to decide what goes on locally, of course they will manipulate it. They will manage that money and use it.
Okay, let me come to Ongusen, Padiga. You got some stuff to address over there. Ongusen, welcome to the show. We appreciate you here. Before we go to the topic, we're talking about job creation in the country, something you've spoken about, you've written about extensively. There are countless opportunities in the country to create jobs. But it seems every government that has come to power has never, ever prioritized private sector job creation. The opportunities are endless. Why do you think we don't focus on private sector job creation? Everybody wants to run to the government. We let people that don't understand these basic things, and there's no way to know how to create jobs in their districts. What's going on, Uncle Sam?
Okay, so you have to look at the culture, tradition, and then the history. When the settlers landed on Providence Island, and they tried to create a colony, they brought in people who were traders, who were shipbuilders, and who were trading with the rest of the world. And by the 1880s and 1890s, they had done a significant amount of things, and you had a lot of good people like teach them. They had what they call the Negro Trading Corporation between Baltimore and Monrovia. But by the early 1900s, in the second and third generation, they have moved away from the trading and going into politics and preaching, right? And in the 1890s too, Liberia had I want you to read a book in the audience out there. Liberia coffee in Ceylon. Liberia coffee was a premium type of coffee, and we were the envy of the world in terms of in growing of our coffee. But by 1904, Liberia was no more involved in any significant international trading. As a matter of fact, the Germans by the 1890s and the early thing, they had taken over the trading architecture. Warman and Company, okay, Patterson Zakonis, and others. And then when Tubman came into power, the Lebanese came in and took over the trading architecture. Okay, and we did not develop the base of every economy, which is the base of every economy, which is agriculture, to feed yourself. We did not develop that. So in 1926, when Firestone came, the later number of people that were involved in agriculture, which were able-bodied men, were seconded to Firestone. The people that came from Lofa, the Kisis, the Lomas, and so on and so forth. They became tappers in Firestone. And because they could not grow their own food, that's the reason why they started the importation of this thing called pusawa, right? So if you look at the country did not grow organically like any other country, where it started with an agriculture base and then moved into light process manufacturing of agricultural products, and then go to an industrial base, and then go into a post-industrial economy. As a result of that, we did not build wealth along all of those stages in our development. Okay? So now, if you come to the 21st century, forget about the war. Just look at how the Fullahs and the Lebanese control the trading economy, the importation, the wholesale, the retail, and then the light manufacturing, right? So what do we control in this country? The largest real estate investor is a Lebanese. The largest industrialist is a Lebanese. The best hotels in the country are Lebanese. The people with the largest real estate portfolio in Liberia are Fullahs, no Liberians. So what needs to happen is we have to have a conversation around the coffee table, around a fire hearth, and say, what is it that we need to do to promote Liberian entrepreneur development? Incubation.
Okay. Thank you, sir, very much. Look, Uncle Sam, we all on this show, we've read to some extent. Every country, I would take the Japanese or the Americans or the Germans, it doesn't matter where they are, what their governments did when they were starting to create industries in the country, that the properties is for you, they initially help subsidize these companies, and they build those companies locally. It doesn't mean Liberians don't know how these things work. Almost everybody who's governed us, for some extent, they've gone to a decent school. They know the tools that it takes to develop the society, but we directly refused. The question to you directly, Dr. Bobek, we know what the solutions are, but we just refuse to employ them. Why? Why?
So Dualo, we have a system problem, a structure problem, and like I think Uncle Sam was intimating, we got some historical challenges. They're not beyond us. So historically, we have created a monopoly, right? Remember our history. We started with free persons of color, and they didn't want to be put back in chains, whatever, economically, politically, whatever. So Monrovia controlled everything. Today, you and I both know that it's still the story. We have a strong central government, and the central government drives everything. But yesterday, we actually can do this reimagining Liberia and creating jobs. You know, a lot of times we think about job creation, we think about big companies, so foreign direct investment. The truth is, though, strong economies, and I'm talking about the strongest economies in the world, like the United States, are built on the back of small businesses. True. And a small business is considered a firm, a mom and pop shop that employ 5 people. Small business. We here in Liberia have that opportunity. But the challenge is structure and capacity. So what do I mean? You have to decentralize, give the people in the county some autonomy and authority to think for themselves and have some control of their resources and make some decisions themselves. Okay? Otherwise, the big company, I heard that a lot around the country. Moreover, send the big company there. The big company don't care for the local people. They're loyal to the French in Monrovia. So if we build capacity, look, we came out of the war. And I thought that, okay, this is our reconstruction era. We needed everything. We still need those things. We need masonry, we need carpenters, we need people who can pave roads and those things. So focus on that and let the counties have some decisions to make by themselves. Listen, that would be a magnet to attract people because professional people are not looking for jobs. We just want opportunity, and ability follows opportunity. So if we have opportunity in Basel, Grand Gita, and those places, people will come from around the world, like qualified Liberians, will bring their dollars, will bring their expertise, they'll move outside of Monrovia into the county where they know they can do some business development. It's possible, but we have to trust the people and we relinquish some control. Monrovia can make all the decisions, and it sure can be telling everybody else in the country how the country ought to go. Because Monrovia itself is not a great example.
Thank you, Dr. Mabel. And Fatima, welcome to the show. Ongusi, I'm going to come back to you. We are lacking opportunities. Most professionals that started and professor, which is entirely true, one opportunity. Ongusi, I want to come to you directly. Create some opportunities that is void of mineral extraction from Liberia. Let's create some opportunity. Let me come to you first in Liberia, where we can put some men and women to work.
Okay, so mom and pop operations, small and medium enterprise, it is the base of the American economy.
Correct.
And most of the jobs that are created in developing countries are small and medium enterprises, right? Entrepreneurship. Okay. If you look at post-war, and the development of entrepreneurs, you will see the Fullahs and the Lebanese, they're creating jobs in the trading, in the trading sector. That is a $1.5 to $1.7 billion economy right there, trading. And the multiplier effect, 2.5 times, you're talking about $3 to $4 billion, right? Okay. So learn how to trade. And then, but agriculture has to be the fulcrum of your economy. Smallholder farms. Now, let's look at the what do you call it in this the barriers to entry for agriculture. The first barrier to agriculture is what? Access to finance. And then the next thing is technology. And then the next thing is support in terms of, what do you call it? The services, the extension services that governments provide all around the world, like the technical support to agriculture, fertilizers, and so on and so forth, right? So we need to make a determination as to whether we create a special purpose vehicle like an agriculture development bank, or we create capacity within the current banking system to lend to agriculture. Right now, only 4% of bank credits go to agriculture. Only 4%. Only 4%. And less than 5% of expenditure for government go to agriculture, right? If you cannot feed yourself, if you cannot go up the agriculture value chain, and if you are importing juices, if you are importing fruits and vegetables that can be easily grown in your country, if you are importing rice at the quantity that we are, what we're doing, we're transferring wealth out of Liberia and putting it in the hands of foreigners and creating jobs in the other country.
Thank you.
That's what I have to do. So it's agriculture and trading, and it has to be mechanized agriculture, and it's about agribusiness. It's not, because most of the agriculture in this country is what we call slash and burn. They make farm here one day, they move from here, they take out the nutrients, then they go to someplace else. We need to have an integrated approach to agriculture. I don't think we can do it ourselves. So we need to invite partners. So then what it means is that all along the different industries, we have to develop what we call it in pitch decks, right? We don't attract investors. We wait for investors to come. Let's look for our competitive economic and comparative economic advantages, build business around that, do prospectuses, and go global to get the investors to come in and demand partnerships.
Thank you, Hussein.
Right?
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Fadiga, I'm going to skip you. Says Fatima, welcome to the show. Mr. Chokpa, welcome to the show. I'm going to go to Fatima. Fatima, Hussein spoke about entrepreneurship. Most Liberian businesses are from hand to mouth. And thank God I don't have to explain what that means. Every Liberian understands it. How do we grow beyond the basic? But people will get into the politics soon, but this is also important. How do we go from over the basics to where Fatima now can take a ground pea business that she's selling in the winter market? Now she's grinding the ground pea and making peanut butter. The next level, for example. How do we do that, Fatima? How do we gravitate to that level?
We also try to empower Liberians themselves. That's why some of the things that me and you have been discussing are some of the ideas that we're looking at. Like when you talk about like that wheelbarrow company, we need to start trusting Liberians themselves to take over their own economy, the Liberianization process. The thing you said, we're talking about building a stadium in Banga. Why can't you build like a factory in Banga to empower most Liberians to go there, and start doing things for themselves, helping out. We don't have then that particular thing now, the Liberian wheelbarrow. We don't have to be importing wheelbarrow from other nations. Yeah. We have company over there to make it. So we need to put our people first. And you were talking about something like when we're talking about the agricultural business, let's open a bank right now that will support our small business, our farmers, have an agricultural bank to support our farmers to make sure we can, like Uncle Sam said, one thing that I liked about him, we can include partners. If there are some new techniques or mechanisms that we're unaware of, we can include partners to do that. But let Liberians be the driver of their own economy, the driver of their own country. Let's empower our own people. I realize that when you make people feel that they are worth it, and you show them that they have the strength and the power to do certain things, you encourage them. I think they feel good about themselves and will do well. So I just think we need to trust our Liberian people first.
Yeah, we got to trust them. Fadiga, I will skip you again because this will be the last person on this topic that we can go into the politics. Mr. Vatokpa, I'm going to come to you directly. My brother on D12, I'm going to say this to you. I've heard this a million times. People say Liberian cannot be trusted. That is not true. Enforce the laws and see if Liberian cannot be trusted. Truly enforce the law. I said, let me come to you. We are lacking behind, but we have countless Liberians from across the globe that got specialty in literally almost every field now. We have a brother like Armstrong Jabba that's trying to create a rest operation in the country, but he lacks the funding. How do we gravitate to where we begin truly empowering Liberians to the point where they're creating small-scale industry that we can expand into major operations in the country, I say?
Well, I want to say hello to everybody out there, to you, the panelists, but I want to give a special shout out to Emily Teps Ogutu. That's my schoolmate from Cottington. And before that, her brother and I were very good friends in Yegepa. I haven't seen her name in like nearly 40 years. So I'm just excited to see the name. So Emily, if you can hear me, I love your suggestion as well in terms of modifying the previous executive order. But yes, I'm happy to see your name and I hope you're doing well. Like I told folks already, we started our podcast to share business knowledge to our people and also to advocate, because it's a partnership thing. It will not take only, trust Liberians. No, there is nothing called trust. We need trustless systems. We need systems in place. One, the land that these farmers are on, or the acreage they are saying, I got 50 acres, I got 30 acres. How do they know? There's no validation process in terms of the land. Then when we come to the actual production, how much you planted, we don't even have an actual count of the heads that each person is planting. When it comes to the production, they're not weighing it. They're just putting a bag of cassava. A bag of cassava means nothing to me. It got to be 20 pounds of cassava, 30 pounds of cassava. So in terms of the farmers' education, the quantification of our agriculture sector, and also the training, the extension services that is necessary. I've been talking to the folks at agriculture. It's very critical. They are trying to build that. They are trying to send students abroad now to get more expertise in those areas to support our farmers. And then from a business perspective, these farmers need to be registered as business. We need a small business administration at the Ministry of Commerce to not be a blank page on the website. I'll challenge Amin Mudad. He needs to make that a vibrant part of his administration at the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, because that's what would be the engine that can really power the small business, power the Liberians. Let them understand what it takes to start a business, what it takes to keep their books, what it takes to differentiate the operational expenditure from what they can set aside and what they can reinvest into the business. So there's a lot of education necessary to empower our people. And if we don't get to that level and we think we just throw money out there and give it to this farmer or that other business person in the agricultural value chain, it's not going to work. But agriculture is essential to our development. We have proposed methodologies that work in other countries, that are working around the world in terms of the integration of solar energy, groundwater, and modern agriculture techniques to advance agriculture in Liberia. It's doable, folks. It's very doable, but we need that support system. Government need to invest in the system with the support. Obviously, otherwise the money will go to waste. But we cannot discount what's happening in the sector in agriculture today. There are a lot of people. I'm in a chat room with the people in the cassava sector. They are very progressive. They are very dynamic. I mean, if I show you some of the pictures of the cassava that are coming from in the ground, some of them big like Manta. Okay, so it's about the next level. What are the derivatives from cassava that we can start to, package, process properly, package at the level of international sales and get it out there? And that's where the market search and the support is necessary for our people in the field, our people producing these products. So hopefully government can pay attention to this. The minister has a national agricultural development plan out there. It's very robust. There's, one or two you can always add to something, but if that plan just by itself is implemented, we are talking serious progression in the agriculture sector. So, we'll keep pushing the needle for the agriculture sector. We'll keep talking about it, and hopefully more people can understand that the 70% of our people that are in agriculture, they are not even operating at the productivity level they need to, simply because they don't have access to market, they don't have access to finance, the road situation, all of those things factor in to make a holistic, agriculture sector that can really move forward. So, I just look forward to, this bank. But the Liberian Bank for Development Investment was created to do some of those things. Can they look at a loan portfolio and help our people? Those things are critical, but there's always room for more banks. So, I'll encourage that as well. Dwalu, to you.
Thank you, Ase. We're going to move to the next topic, but I want to say this. Look, my people, even cassava leaf, the web now, they become infatuated with cassava leaf. If we consolidate a cassava leaf, we package it properly and ship it to America, it's almost $100 million business. Imagine what we can do with that.
Dwalu, I want you to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
The ethnic food business is $4 billion. Ethnic food, the food where we Africans can eat in this America, is a $4 billion industry. And luckily for us now, Liberian food, Ghanaian food, Nigerian food are becoming mainstream. Jollof rice is a big item right now among the Western people. So the more we can bring our food mainstream, the more money we can get back to our country. So I really look forward to us in the next 5-6 years really pushing this agriculture sector.
Yeah, man, and it's a big deal. Everybody here who lives in America can attest to that. Even you try to go potato green, the almost $100 you spend on the potato green to keep it. I'm talking about USD. So the market is big. How we consolidate, this is our task. But I'm going to skip a little bit and let's go over to Gafuan being appointed the new Minister of Finance, coming to the Finance Ministry. I'm going to go to Dr. Prophet first. He served there before. Is this a great decision to bring him back to the fold? Will he be bringing something new to this department, considering that he served there before, or he's the right person for the job, or is Mr. Bwaka making the right decision? What's your take, Dr. Prophet?
So, Dwalu, first thing is congratulations to to Mr. Gafwan. And obviously, he's a qualified man. He's been around the loop. He served in different capacities. And then, political appointments is always the president's prerogative, right? So it's not necessarily the smartest people in the republic, but it's the people of preference, right, for the president. So within that premise, the president does what the president does. For me, though, where I sit at this point in our nation's history, I keep asking myself, what would people do in terms of leadership, that is, when they come into a position? Would they do something novel? Would they do something innovative? Our nation is desperate for innovation, for forward-leaning, forward-thinking leaders. Everybody in strategic position, minister, deputy director, they are leaders, right? And they affect public policy. And nobody needs to tell anybody that the Ministry of Finance, Development, Planning is strategic to fiscal policy, strategic to economic development, drive that policy part as far as fiscal policy in the country. I hope that the new minister will have an innovative approach to moving our economy forward. I think if he introduces a public-private partnership and make that a priority, good stewardship of public resources, be frugal because we're a poor country, and help redirect resources as have been allocated by the national legislature, so it get down right to the microeconomy. I think he could do well. Beyond that, it's wait and see. My thing is, if somebody been there before, they ain't do nothing novel new. I don't know to do anything different when they come back, but we will see.
Okay.
And we're hopeful.
Polygon, I'm going to come to you. Honorable Gafwan is going back to the Ministry of Finance. I, for one, if an innovative leader works somewhere, his intention should be to leave a legacy that actually renews the environment, bring in new ideas. And I think Honorable Gafwan is more than capable of doing that. Do you see him transforming the Ministry of Finance in a way that lifts the country, or is it going to be SIMO? What's your position?
I have explicit confidence in him. That I will say that. So it may seem no bias, but look at his professional track record. He has an impeccable record. He has been in government for some time. If you look at some of the initiatives that he handled, he was an integral part of the Paris Club debt waiver process. He was an integral part of the HIPC arrangement. He went on to serve as foreign minister. Look, one of the things you need, the qualification you need to succeed as a finance minister, I think he has all the qualities, backed by the academic credential. I think, and he's among our age. He's not a youth, but he's part of our generation. So he understands the terrain. So as for innovation, I know Gafwan very well. He's very innovative. He's someone that thinks outside of the box. So on a personal front, as an individual, he's someone that is open to change, and he's very adaptive. Someone like that, heading the finance ministry, not even going into anything else, I think he will move things around.
Okay, Augustin, your take on Gafwan's appointment, the ascendancy.
Yeah, so basically, I like him personally. He's a very good person. He has academic credentials, and he, of course, within the context and confines of Liberia, he has done extremely well for himself. Okay, and I believe that he's still growing. Now, one of the challenges that my brother Gafwan has is that he's from the political economy that looks at the Ministry of Finance and Development as a disbursing agency. And to deploy monies for expenditure, right? And over in the post-war period, there has not been a robust development planning sector or development planning portion of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. That's where I think he needs to get other experts, like Madam Ellen Salif did. She went to Eric Wecker from the Harvard Grove Institute. She brought in Steve Radelet. We brought in the Dr. Obama from Macquarie University, right? To do something about development planning, sectoral planning, right? So, and I think that's where his challenge is going to be, because there is not enough expertise within the current government to do sound development planning and the implementation strategy to meet up with the development challenges of the country. For example, socioeconomic development, right? Maternal mortality. And then we look at like jobs creation, okay? Sectoral planning. How do we integrate, a development plan? How do we build a financial architecture to attract real solid foreign capital to grow the economy? So that is where the challenge is going to be. And unfortunately for him, that expertise is not there. He has to look outside of Liberia among other Liberians. And we have to find the monies, right? Like Ellen did with the Todd Kent program, with other programs. Because if you need to grow sectors, if you need to create jobs, and you to expand agricultural production, like a cassava strategy, a rice strategy, a planting strategy, a sugarcane strategy for ethanol, all of those things that can create jobs, there is that's a capacity problem that he faces automatically. So if he can address the capacity challenges, and he can also have this development plan that they're doing, he can have an implementation strategy, fine tune it, and have some benchmarks, performance indicators, where he wants to be 2 years from now. I don't know how long he plans to stay or what he hopes to achieve during his tenure, but he must be very clear about a development strategy. And I think that's where the weakness is going to come from. But I believe he has the integrity, he has the academic credentials, and he's a man of good moral character.
Yeah, Fatima, I'm going to put a twist to your question. Honorable Gafuan been in the system before. He understands how the system is structured. That could be an advantage or disadvantage. Now, do you think because he was in the system before, that gives him an edge or that compromises him?
I think it gives him an edge. I really think it does. I've known him for a long time. I mean, I've admired him a lot, and I think he's one of those people who, like all of us, loves Liberia. He served in this position before, and I think he did quite well. He's still learning, he's still growing, but I think he will do well there. I think he will. He's a progressive. He's mid-age. He's a progressive, and I think with this new government, the agenda of this president, I think he's going to work to make sure that our Ministry of Finance and Development brings in new ideas, brings in some new innovation, and move our country forward. I believe that it is an advantage this time. Even he knows, because he knows that some people somebody just sent me something. Let me just not say it. But yeah, I feel like he's gonna do well. I really feel like he's gonna do well. He's one of those folks that wants to do well. He loves this country. He has new plans. He has new ideas. And even when he was not the finance minister, when we went into most of our chat rooms, he was talking about, how they need to bring brilliant minds to do certain things. When he was talking about, even you, Duaru, the plan that you were talking about, the Liberianization project, he was talking about how important that will be to expand the economy, to make sure that we were drivers of our own economy. So I'm proud of that particular appointment. I am.
I'll say, Gafuan, for most of his life, he's literally spent it in government. I mean, most of his working life in government. And Liberia is a beast. And sometimes when you've been in the belly of this beast for so long, there is a tendency to want to do things the old way. Do you think Honorable Gafon will be able to look outside the box and say, you know what, wrong? I'm going to jump a little bit. And hopefully when I jump, Liberia will expand a little bit. Do you think he got it within him, Isaac?
For him to make a difference, he must have it in him. Seriously. Okay? Look, yes, he's been in the system. Yes, he was minister before. But, you know, he got some exposure. He went to another country to do some work.
Correct.
And hopefully a reflection on what he did, where he took the economy from to where he left it, and what he has done now, will drive him to present a clear and compelling vision for what we should expect from the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning. And for me, if I had to give him advice, I would say transparency and accountability.
Yeah.
You know, into public financial management, which is key. We've seen so much trash over the last few weeks coming out of our financial system that if we have systems, we have trustless systems with alerts, with clear monitoring and evaluation, those kind of things will not be happening at the level they're happening. He controlling the budget. He has to hold government officials, the ministry, the agencies. They got to be accountable to government spending, to the people's money, right? Then he got to focus on how he can increase revenue, whether through improved financial technology. Because, look, there's a lot of transactions that go on in the informal economy that is not being taxed. If we can improve our fintech, our financial technology, and be able to get all payments processed electronically, basically across the country, government revenue will increase significantly. There will be so much more. The pie will be wider. It will be taxing better. If we can get a handle on our cadastral, on the land, who owns the land, all these people that are not paying their real estate taxes. There is no reason real estate taxes in Liberia should be $5.3 million every year nearly. That there's room to grow. So he got to engage, you know, Doba Jala and other people, the Liberian Land Authority. Let's put some structure around land. Let's build our national cadastral. Let's move from 5 million to 20 million in 1 year. Then the whole thing about e-government, okay, and the service centers, let's just got to be able to produce those economic reports. The LIPTELCO cannot have so much redundancy and space. He got to drive government, that the cannibalization that goes on in government, where everybody want to own data center, everybody want to own this, everybody want to own that, to have some level of centralization and use our service centers. So everything he needs to do, from a prompt payment system to encourage people to do business with government pay on time or government pay earlier, you give government 135% discount. All of those innovative things, cutting fat from the government expenditure. Look at 6,000 employees that CSA and Ministry of Finance say they got a question. That's significant money. Those people are even making $200.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Okay,
you know, so, you know, we just in private sector expansion, we talked about it previously with the cassava sector, definitely the rice sector. Government should not be buying imported rice for police, for hospitals, for military, for even a school feeding program, or for any government program. We should buy locally produced rice, whether it's parboil or it's country rice. It should be that rice that we should go after and start to change the taste buds of our young people, that they can start to grow up on our rice. So, you know, there's a lot of different things that a new minister can do. And we
guys,
hope
we'll take another 1 minute, but this will be a little twist. So I'm going to say I will start with you on this one. I want you to put yourself in Honorable Gafuan's position and present to Liberia a quick plan in only 1 minute, how we should progress as a society in order to grow. 1 minute, Uncle Sam.
So what I would do a mini baseline study to find out where we are in terms of employment, in terms of socioeconomic statistics, okay, and to understand exactly the challenges to provide some quick impact, products. So what are the quick impact things you need to do? Do you need to prime the economy? And if you need to prime the economy, you need to have some sort of a jobs program right away. 30, 40, 50,000 jobs. You're going to work Christmas time, okay? Because the economy has been sluggish, right? Aggregate demand is down. they're recasting the budget because the forecast they made, they're not going to reach up to that. So you need to do something about the socio-political situation quickly to put money in the hands of communities so they can have a good Christmas. When they have a good Christmas, what that does, it takes pressure off the government. It takes pressure off the government for them to complete their national development plan, for them to have an implementation strategy, and then to go out there and to look out for what? Two types of funding: private capital formation, and you have to do another round of official development assistance, like a mini donor conference. So if we're claiming that we are in others wreck this economy, and then there's some security implications, right? Then you need to be able to sell a mini financing plan to the international community, that because of the security implications of where we are, we need to increase budget support, increase donor funding, and marry that with an aggressive plan for private sector capital formation. And then we have to look at again, you need to spend the next 30 to 40 days to do some serious introspection if he hasn't already done that, to get a crack team to look at a computable general equilibrium model to see where they can make the biggest impact with the smallest amount of contribution. Because if you just go to pay salaries, if you go to just basically do the same thing, pay legislative projects and do this kind of stuff, and you don't concentrate on jobs creation, what you're doing is you are stretching thin the hopes and aspirations of the people, and you don't want to lose the support of the people.
Thank you, Augustine. Dr. Rope, I'm going to come to you. Same question. You're in the position of Honorable Gafuan. You understand the country's problem. Just only 1 minute. Let's see what approach should he employ, hopefully, to get this wheel turning again.
So I would focus more on development plan. Okay, we know the LRA was his brainchild per se, and honestly, the LRA is one of the best things the government did when they moved revenue collection from finance. So kudos for that. But let me sober us all up. My late cousin, God bless his ashes, Thomas Nant did a fantastic job there. In fact, they brag about the highest revenue collector ever in the Republic. But go outside my river and ask the people, it will look like they didn't collect no money. So collecting a lot of money, government revenue swelling without it translating into capacity building for job creation in the counties, it means nothing. So here's what I would advise the current incoming minister to focus on: development planning. Listen, the president has something in the work called a development agenda, which will be followed by the county action plan. I would encourage the finance minister to resist the temptation for trying to control that or politicize that, but just simply support it and let the people in the county engage and fully embrace it. And I think he would do very well. Development planning with capacity building is the way to go, because then you can create jobs. And when you create jobs, you've done the most significant thing in the economy.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Fadiga, same question. You're Honorable Gafuan. You're running the finance ministry. You see the country. You see the young people all over the place. Everything chakla. Your approach.
Well, I won't be the right person to advise him, because this is strictly above my pay grade. But just on the surface, I think he already has some of those qualities. He has a strong economics and finance background. I think those are some of the skills I read what he profiled. One of the things that we advise is that he needs to be at least fiscally conservative. He need to watch those spending. And then I think that one of the things that the last finance minister didn't do, he was not prudent enough with the national coffers. If he can watch that a little, especially with managing our budget and managing our debt as well, I think those are the only things that I have concerning. And if I were a vice chair, I want him to look at, because look at our domestic debt. Look at the last government went to 1 billion dollars, and we cannot even show anything for it. So those are the only things that I think for now. I would say he needs to be cautious of.
Okay. Well, to Fatima, a minister in whom I will be well pleased. She's a minister of finance. And Fatima, Liberia's problem is before your feet. Honorable Baga gives you a mandate. What do you do? How do we approach this thing? Where do we go from there?
First, I'll fight to ensure that there is accountability. Make sure you hold people accountable, transparency, try to expand the private sector, try to build capacity. I will also try to ensure that our debts are lower. They boost the economy. Try to boost the economy when everybody is eating all around. Everybody's happy. The people will do better. So I will actually do those things that Liberians are looking forward to. I will make sure that our country succeed by those things, boosting the private sector. Because if everybody depending on government, depending on government, then who will do anything for the private sector? I think one thing he should try to do is to expand the private sector, and those things that I just mentioned, I think it will do good for our people. All the other jargons and the other things, I'm not an economist, but what I see is that you help little moms and pop shops over here, you expand the economy, you try by all means and promote the liberalization process. Our people, let us be drivers of our own economy, be that force to drive it, have innovative ideas, fresh, young, brilliant people, bring them, surround you with them, people that will help you to move our country forward.
Thank you. Asif Atogba, same question, sir.
He need to get his red pen out and really slash some things. There's too much redundancy, there's too much unnecessary spending in the budget that you can really take out. And then just the Ministry of Finance budget alone, I think it's just overkill. Let the money for other agencies and people go to them. It shouldn't be coming, because we know how messed up the voucher system is. People who's supposed to do the work, and that's another major thing, build a professional staff that is focused on production and service rather than extracting, extorting, and whatever other word anybody can use to get money from people who the Ministry of Finance is supposed to pay. That process is a very major hindrance in terms of prompt payment to especially business people. If somebody has a contract with government, they got their money, don't come try to scheme on them or take something from them before they can get the money. It affects the economy. So hopefully he can rectify some things. Then additionally, the minister need to have a plan, and he got to work that plan. If he doesn't plan, then he basically planning to fail. He got to plan, and he got to make his plan public that we can hold him accountable to, the public can hold him accountable to, and he executed to its success.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'll give my own position as well. If I were finance minister today, the first thing everybody talk about the planning, which is like primary in that thing. But personally, I would divide the country into 5 zones. And my plan, anybody can look up the plan, a simple economic guide to fix Liberia. And the second position is how we can raise our national budget from on 500 million to over 2 billion in the span of 10 years. I give you step by step 5 economic zones across the country. And these economic zones, that's assuming the southeastern portion of the country. You target a massive industry that actually the government itself funds to begin with. You want to birth the industry in that sector, in that region. Let's assume in the southeastern region is focused on coconut and oil production in terms of coconut oil for shipment across the country. You want to fund that, create a massive amount of jobs, because you really want to open the country. You want to open the country. These places can really take care of themselves. If the western region is good with cocoa, we focus on cocoa. But you want to also couple this with the diaspora Liberians. There should be a division that get them to come into the country and bring in the $20 billion that they get every single year through their paycheck to have a massive infusion. Set up a plan and let that plan be employed. Look, get a think tank And I think 10 cents to the minister, say, Mr. Minister, this is where we can generate additional $30 million in this sector. And this is how we do it. And like as I said, we create a massive website and you publish this report for scrutiny. That the public can say, you know what, wrong? I say your plan this way doesn't work. Maybe if you tweak it this way. So when we critique the plan, not because it's bad, but because you got another eyeball looking at it. And then we improve that plan. It makes the minister better, but it improves the country massively. But like Fatima said, it is about jobs, it's about private sector growth, and about tax infusion. We can get the national budget to over $3 billion in 15 years. I'm not kidding you. Before I go along, Uncle Say, you want to finalize this? Anything else you want to say before we go to the next topic?
So I just want Kafano to go back to 2006, and when the government came in, right? We immediately, well, not we, but the government immediately put something called a 150-day action plan. And the 150-day action plan have 4 pillars, right? So revitalization of the economy, restoration of basic service. This time it will be expanding basic services, rule of law and security and all of that, right? So those are the fundamental building blocks of an economy, right? So let's see a 90-day plan put into place right away to sort of rescue the country from where it is now to where we want to go within 90 days. And then when that 90-day or 150-day action plan is in place, then we put together a medium-term strategy, a medium-term growth strategy. A medium-term growth strategy would mean that we have to look at the major constraints or the binding constraints to economic growth. The binding constraints to economic growth are what? Roads and electricity. So if we look at the binding constraints, then we have to look at the sources. How do we catalyze or motivate resources to build roads, to improve energy? So one of the ways that we can improve energy will be what? Private-public partnerships. And I'm so surprised that while we're not improving, the space for independent power producers to expand energy, to improve access to energy. I think 20 to 30% of the population have access to electricity right now, right? So what is the long-term, what is the medium-term strategy to improve the output? I don't think the CLSG, all right, is any kind of significant sustainable plan for developing the energy sector, because what you're doing is you are sending out revenue, your current account. You are financing and promoting energy development in La Côte d'Ivoire by paying independent power producers in and the whole idea of the West African Power Pool was a stopgap measure, but not a long-term energy independence. So we need to have a strategy for energy independence. So we have to do a combination of wind, solar, and hydro. And then the next thing is road connectivity, because you cannot have agribusiness without road connectivity. And then in our medium-term strategy, we have to look at value addition. So you're looking at warehousing, right? Storage, access to markets, and then processing. So if we really want, we can have a medium-term strategy that will build the building blocks, that will put together the building blocks for really irreversible economic growth and development in the medium term, while we put together this long-term national development plan.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Jackson. And I want to make a point that you just alluded to is this. Even though I love the power sharing pool out of Ivory Coast, but I believe that poses certain sovereignty risk to our country, especially when we do not control this. We don't generate enough power to where because if Ivory Coast decide, let's say we have some kind of small power with Ivory Coast tomorrow, they can say no wrong. We'll call your power, we'll see what you will do. But I'm going to digress from that. Dr. Brooke, I'm going to come to you first on this new topic. With the Labor Minister, people were celebrating that he's raising about $5 million in revenue. I don't subscribe to that. I don't celebrate him for that. The Labor Ministry is not responsible to be raising revenue in the country. How be it okay if they do? But the primary duty is to enforce labor laws across the country, improve them, strengthen labor laws across the country. Now, what negative effect does that have on the country when we are selling all these work permits to foreigners? When Liberians don't have jobs, is it a negative or is it a positive? I'll see that as a negative. What is your position, Honorable Brebeck?
So,
I don't know if you see the article. Did you see the article?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
good.
So it's always a good when a government entity raises revenue. It's a good thing, okay? And that's something we want to encourage, okay? Because you and I both know that one of the things that really strangulate our government is that it is a place of perks and privileges, but it's not tied to productivity. So people come to government, they will get a gas slip, they will get a scratch card, they will get a money, they will get a car, but they don't have to produce anything. So that the labor ministry say, I raised $5 million, good. What's missing though, and every agency need to begin to do this, we want to see the profit loss statement. So in other words, juxtapose what you raise with what you're actually spending. How much does it cost to run your entity? Because if it costs $9 million and you raise $5 million, you're $4 million in a hole. Go back to work, come back and tell us more. It's good that the minister can say that. I like it when the port at National Port managing director said we give $2 million to the government, but I was also asking, so how much you spending to run the port? Because the port still is not seamless like the one in Sierra Leone, for example. It's still a place of tremendous hassle, and they got a lot of leakages because money go in people's pocket. So it's good. I applaud them, but show us the profit loss. So how much does it cost to run the ministry, or did it cost to run the ministry in the same period of time?
So Fatima, I'm going to go to you next. Okay. Liberians are unemployed. I believe if the labor minister enforced the labor laws across the country, protected Liberians' employee more, I think the government stands to gain more in revenue as opposed to selling work permits to generate revenue. Do you think it's a good idea, or it doesn't hurt the country, Fatima?
I think it hurts the country because most of our youth, they're unemployed. And I think, it's always a good idea for any industry or ministry to generate funds, but not at the detriment of our own Liberian people. If you're selling these work permits, what jobs are these people going after? Are they jobs that Liberians themselves will go after? Because, I realized the last time I was in Liberia in January, when I went waterside to buy, like lapa and stuff, every store I went to was some foreigner, somebody. I'm not against people being in the country, but I would rather Liberians get employment first. In any nation, let our people be employed. I'm all for our people being employed first before any other person. And I'm not saying no other person should come to our country. I think let him try to force the labor laws for our people, ensure that Liberians are employed first. And their employment agencies they're protected where they're employed and stuff like that. I don't think we should focus so much more on those work permits. I think we should try to ensure that our people are comfortable, they are working, our youth have things to do so that they are not all on the street doing all of these things that they're not supposed to be doing. So
Fadiga, is there another way the labor minister generating these revenue besides work permit? Is there another way, or do you think the work permit is the only way?
I don't think the work permit is the only way. But let us look at the upside of this. Look, we can talk about all the economic mechanism put in place to do this. One of the things that is hurting this country is our low population. We need to open this country up for people. Our country becomes less attractive for investment because of the population. We saw the strategy of the Americans, and so many other countries around the world have benefited from population. Look, our economy, we have a very low purchasing power. We have a shortage of skilled labor, professional in most sectors. I don't think we should just narrow this down to taking jobs. Taking what job? The professional jobs, we have few people competing for them. Most of the jobs that are available to a lot of the people are Minaya jobs. So most foreigners coming here, what do they want? Most of them end up being traders. A lot of them are now looking for factory job or working in this, that. No, most of them are going to are in the trade business, with a few exceptions of McKinney here and there. So I think we need to strengthen our immigration law and the labor law, but at the same time, we need to open this country up for more people to come. Liberia doesn't benefit if we continue to remain 5.5 million. That's just the population of Conakry. And it's hurting our economy. It makes the country less attractive. We need resident card payment. We need fines. So it could be different things. Resident card payment. Some of them are fines. And so it's not only jobs, work permit. But the fact that there is some mechanism in place to capture that much money, I think we should applaud it. But at the same time, Liberia need to start opening up the country. Probably Greenwich doing the guys doing the Caribbean island, attaching monetary value to our citizenship and come with a house and a plot of land. Probably we need to do that, but we need people in this country. Honestly.
Thank you. Faliga, I'm going to disagree with you slightly, but I want to go to Asif Atupa. In terms of population, we may be small, but the population of Singapore is about 5.6 million. The population of Luxembourg is 600,000 people. The population of Switzerland is around 8 million people. So yes, the population does play a role, but not to the extent.
All right.
Go ahead. I'll give you 30 seconds.
That's just one side of the story.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just telling you because you stress population. I know population is important. My argument is we are plenty enough to the point where we can develop if we choose to. That's the argument I'm making. Because Singapore is 5.6 million people. They have arguably one of the highest standard of living in the world, one of the highest purchasing power in the world. Luxembourg, arguably the highest on earth. Okay? Switzerland. I don't have to tell you about Switzerland. The argument that I'm making here.
Oh, what kind of people? It's not just population. These are not just empty, semi or non-educated people. Look what it did before they arrived.
I agree. We have to develop the capital capacity of the country. That the prophet said that. Everybody agrees with that. But what I'm saying is, so right now we have, even if it's 300,000 Liberians that are educated, okay, 300,000. I'm being very conservative. Don't forget about the high school. I'm talking about real college educated population. Maybe 300,000 across the globe. That is sufficient to literally develop a society. I'll give you an example before I give it to Azib. Botswana in 1962, they have less than 100 people that were high school graduate. There was no college graduate. Less than 100,000 people. Less than 100 people were high school graduate. In a span of 40 years, that 100 people got the literacy rate above 90%. That means over 90% of the country is currently literate. In Liberia, I think we'll hover around 50%. Somebody can correct me. I'll say, what's your position in terms of the labor minister?
I tried to go to the Ministry of Labor website just now. And what did I see? Are you a foreigner? You need to do work permit? I hope there are other pages to the website, beside that one page.
Yeah.
Look, the Ministry of Labor can do more than that. When was the last time I ever saw anything on labor studies?
I don't remember. I don't know.
2012. Yeah, Sam, I knew you were going to answer because you probably did it. Look.
No, I didn't. It was done by Joao Lawson, the minister then. That was the job creation thing in 2012. Yes.
Right. And since that time, so what is the vision of this labor minister? I personally, I don't know. I just hope it can really be about the Liberian people, about building Liberian capacity, getting Liberians into jobs. We cannot be here and have a clerk or attendant in a little restaurant or in a supermarket be from a foreign country. What kind of jobs Liberian will have? Okay? Where is the vision for labor in the next 6 years? What should our people be training for to be able to get those jobs? HPX is coming in 2-3 years. How many jobs will be created there? What kind of preparation are we doing that whatever country plan they have, Liberians will populate that? Because most of the country plans is about, elevating Liberians into managerial position. What about some of these, what they call them, concessions that exist right now? What are our people doing in those concessions? Are they just doing the menial jobs and everything from the management up is other people? So the Ministry of Labor needs to do more. The mandate of the Ministry of Labor should be clearly spelled out on their website, whether it's just the Decent Work Bill, whether it's the actual act that created the Ministry of Labor, that we can understand what they're doing and what we expect for them to do. There's so much contribution that the Ministry of Labor can make to the Liberian population in terms of pushing their advocacy, whether it's for Liberian jobs to be for Liberian, whether it's about Liberianization, whether it's about the actual revenue that is supposed to be getting. And, if you even look at it, it's probably underserved, because I don't know how critical they are in assessing these foreigners and being able to ensure that they pay what they are supposed to pay. But yes, the Ministry of Labor can be more impactful on what Liberians are doing, how they are doing it, helping to build their capacity, helping to direct the economy towards where the world is going, where jobs are being created, and all of those things. So we just expect more from them.
Okay. Ashley, thank you very much. And Liberian people, before I go to the next and final topic for the night, it's almost 7 o'clock.
Can I just say something quickly about this, Dualo? I beg you.
Yeah, just 1 second. I'll come to you next. I'm saying.
No, I just want to basically.
Okay.
Before you end it. Okay, look. Let's just call a spade a spade. Liberian people, we got serious capacity problem, right? And it's about just understanding what a Ministry of Labor is supposed to do. Look, Bureau of Labor Statistics, I don't want to get fancy like in the United States, right? But because the whole idea of the Ministry of Labor is to basically find out in terms of the unemployment rate, right? And also to look at areas within the economy that are growing jobs. Look, just give you a simple statistic. 80.9% of the workforce in this country, people ages 18 to 65, are in the informal sector. Subsistence agriculture and selling with a market with 2 or 3 toffee, that's it, right? So the Minister of Labor, if it boasts about using the ministry as a revenue creation arm of government to grant work permits to foreigners, it is failing in that job, because it should not be granting work permits to foreigners in the quantity they do because of revenue creation. What it should be doing is to be decreasing the number of work permits it gives and building the capacity of Liberians to get those jobs, because when you pay foreigners, they are outward remittances and they keep only their small what to maintain themselves in the country, the rest goes outside. So we should all look at that as the picture.
Okay. Thank you so much. Somebody asked how much is a work permit in Liberia. I'm not sure. Uncle Say, I don't know if you have an idea how much it costs.
I think it's about $900. I'm not sure, but just around
it varies according to the sector.
I think it was $150, depending.
Okay.
$150?
Depending on what you get, special price for ECOWAS.
Maybe $900, right?
Yeah.
I know something is $900.
I would look it up. I'm not sure what it is, but I want to say this, guys. The economy is like a pie. Everybody got to play. Okay, let me teach you. It's just the economy. You ain't going to Tobogi. Fatima will bring the kid today. As they bring the dry meat. Fadiga bring the pepper. If Fadiga pepper not there, the economy can work well. So the labor ministry has to play its part that it's supposed to play. Every agency the government creates contributes to some extent to the total success of the economy. And that's the intention. But our final topic for the night is the withdrawal of Nathaniel McGill's application for the prohibition of his case to the Supreme Court. He withdrew that. Now, what did you take forever? Fatima, I'm going to you first.
So yesterday I was driving coming home, And everybody that I know that know me from the CDC was calling me. So do you guys know when George Weah actually came out and made that little speech that time at the party headquarters? I think you guys could see how he was hesitating and how he was nervous. Although he always read at a third, fourth grade level, but that day was even worse. So George Weah is a guy who does not ever want to be sanctioned, does not want to be, for anyone to bother him from not going here and there. He had a conversation with McGill. He told McGill, my man, I see that you are sanctioned. I don't want to be part of that. I'm not going to say anything that I was the one who sent you to do whatever you did. So, my man, go through your lawyers and your duties. I mean, everybody was calling me to just tell me, Fatu, please, the people discussing this thing, but I couldn't get here because yesterday was back to school for most of my youths that I do therapy with, and I had to take them shopping. So that's what happened. He withdrew it because I want you to understand something. George Weah is the kind of person who will actually play nice guy all along, but when it comes to him going to jail, he's not going to jail for no sedition.
Oh no.
He's not going to jail for nobody. He's a scaredy cat. He's not even going to try. I don't care what anybody say, oh, President, watch my word. George Weah ain't coming to tell nobody that he told McGill to do anything. He's not doing it. He's not taking the fall for any sedition. Although sedition want him to ride them all the time and make them go do. Did you see him go to that party headquarters when the people were stoning people? He will not go there because he does not want to be associated with any kind of negative acts. So I'm just telling you, he had a meeting with McGill. According to reliable sources, I think most of my cousins are in the party. According to reliable sources, he told him, you are sanctioned. I don't want to be sanctioned. You'll go to court. You fight it out there. That is the reason why he did that. He was not going to fall for none of that. Why he didn't fall.
Dr. Robert, Honorable McGill withdrew his application.
Yeah.
We are not quite sure. Don't put your cousin in trouble. Why the application was withdrawn? Do you think it's the right thing to do? Was it politically expedient, or is he trying to go another route and place his faith in, or he trusts the judges that they appointed? What's pushing this decision to withdraw the application for probation? By the way, Dr. Probert.
Well, I think the best place to go is to just quote the senator himself. The senator say he's committed to transparency, the rule of law, and he wants the LACC to do his work. I applaud my senator. I live in Margibi now as my senator there. I applaud him because that is the right thing to do. We've come to a place in the body politic that we always have to consider the greater good. It can't just be about me, myself, and I.
That's right.
It's got to be what's best for us, the nation, Liberia. The senator did the right thing. Let the process work. Like I said, on the whole, much is given, much is required. Senator McGill, before he was senator, he was minister of state. We all know he's one of the most powerful men in the country. So he was one of those fortunate transition from power with one government and find himself in another position of power in the next government. You can't be an obstructionist. You can't, because Mapu and Bayoga and Yakwabu, they are subjected to the rule of law. So must all of the big shots. The senator did the right thing. Let the system work. I applaud him.
That's good. Fadiga, do you think his decision was influenced by the CDC hierarchical structure, or Mr. President himself, President Weah, or he decided to become more altruistic and say, listen, I'm going to pull Liberia first this time around? That wasn't pushing a decision.
I don't think he found Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you mean? I don't think that was happened. I think it may be one of the two or many other reasons, but it won't be far from the Weah scenario, because if you read a letter that he wrote to the Supreme Court, he said he was reversing his decision with all what is that legal term? With all reservation or something.
Without
Yes.
prejudice.
Yeah. So he was, you know, so legally, I've spoken to lawyers about this. It's a very dangerous path for anyone. While for a public relations standpoint, it may seem like, oh yeah, he got nothing to hide, he coming there, but it's a very slippery and dangerous slope. And it could be one or two things. This could play right into the hand that this guy is mad and you say, you know what? I thought that the ship would protect me, but since the ship not going to protect me, which is George Weah, I'm going to just go down there and this whole ship, I'm not just going to take the four alone. I will sink this ship. So when you see him going to the Supreme Court and waiving his rights, look, the prohibition is a very effective tool. It can stall any court proceeding. It can delay it. It can let it to drag on for years, and that is according to everybody, you know, under the law. For him to waive his right, it could be that he says he feel that the team is not going to protect him. He's going to let the ship sink. So he's just going to subject himself and tell the people that it was the president that told me to do this. And then implicate the president and then rope with her Bush, and then it will open this whole can of room. So it depends. We just have to watch it because this, like I said, this is not the first, neither will it be the last. McGill will be called several more times.
Yeah.
So if this is the relationship that they cultivated, I think we are breaking this cabal.
Thank you, Fadiga. Azzy, I'm going to come to you before Uncle Sam will be last on this case. Do you think, Mr. McGill, considering that he already mentioned President Weah, the cat is already out of the bag. Would that change anything now when they go to court? The lawyers, the opposing lawyers, going to use this. What's going on, Azzy? You know more about this than anybody on this platform.
No.
People.
I was speculating. They used to be my people. I was speculating.
Right.
But on a serious note, I asked you on this panel, I think yesterday, I said, what McGill was his initial line of defense? He was operating under the instruction of the president. Right? And because presidents will be immune, so by transference or associated property, you can't.
So if A equals B, if B equals C, C equals D.
So look, and then they told me McGill was stuttering when he was interviewing with the LACC people.
Yeah.
Okay. They asked him to bring documents. They say can't help out with the investigation. The first day when that thing first came up, when that letter came up, we said on here, you can assist with an investigation as just an informant, as just a person involved in the case, or as a whistleblower, right? And some people were screaming, they were witch hunting McGill and blah, blah, blah. Other people were saying, oh, no, man, that what McGill want. How somebody can want to go under a situation like that where you know, where we all know, supplementary and payrolls, temporary payroll, they're all fine. They're legal. But what do you do with it? They just drive you on the street as legal. But when you're running 100 miles per hour, just expect your fat ticket and probably your lesson suspension, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So look, the reality is McGill used George Weah name. That cloak of immunity and that cloak of impunity that they had before, it doesn't exist today. Look at the petty thing they're crying for via in the presidential launch at Joel Mongole. Joel not president. So certain privileges that you had as president don't exist now that you're not president. You are still the VIP. You are still the most popular Liberian. You are still loved by so many people. But it's just that there are certain limitations to what you have access to and what you are entitled to today. And people got to respect that. No president is immune from investigation and from criminal prosecution. So let people be aware.
Yeah, sometimes people misconstrue that. And you're right, I say. Mr. Jackson, I'm going to come to you before we begin our closing. Honorable McGill withdraw his prohibition plea to the Supreme Court. What's going on, Uncle Sam?
Okay, so let's leave the land of fantasy and speculation and let's deal with the realm of reality. I spoke to McGill today, and what he did was tactical, right? Because I think he came to the realization that if he tries to go under the cloak of presidential immunity, it would expose him to some political perception that he's trying to hide something. This is what he believes, and this is what he knows. That, look, hiring people on a supplemental payroll is not a sin. And even if it's a sin, it's not egregious enough compared to what other he's been publicly accused of at the international system. For him to hire boys and girls, men and women from Gibraltar, from Claratown, from Zogowe, to be gardeners, to be cooks, to do other jobs. This is, I mean, no jury in the Republic of Liberia will convict Nathaniel McGill for hiring seditionists and other Liberians. That's just the way it is. So he had a very good strategic, critical thinking woman. He says that I'm not going to go on the clock of presidential immunity. I'm Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, the second most powerful man in the country, with access to all kinds of ways I could have done anything I wanted to do to get money. And you telling me that I'm going to go and pad a payroll to get kickbacks of $200 or $150 or $300 from employees? And
Times
this is
728. Times 728.
But I'm saying this is it is bogus. It is idiotic. It is nonsensical. Okay? It's totally bogus, nonsensical, and it is inane. It is inanity to believe that the most powerful man, in terms of the most powerful man in the presidency, that can command millions if he wanted to, will be carried on. Let me finish.
I want to close now. No. You are giving you more time, but 728 names.
Can I just finish, Dwalo? Don't be quick to come and counteract.
No. Go ahead.
This is what gets me right up. When I'm making a point and I'm striking a nerve, then you want to counteract.
Sorry.
Wait.
Go ahead.
Wait. Because what you've been doing here for the last minute is basically giving out a bogus claim that the most powerful man in the country besides the president will be padding payroll to be fetching $200 and $300 and $400 from people to make this thing a gigantic $300, $400, $500. This is nonsense. This is bogus. This is inane. I worked in government at the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs as Minister of State for Economic and Financial Affairs. That is too petty a thing to do. And first of all, it is in order to the amount of work that will be involved to go and get that quantum of money. You can do other stuff and get multiple amounts of that money. The man was trying to create employment for people to take the political pressure off them, because when you win an election, like Joe Barker right now, facing the same amount of pressure, and he hired his daughter, Bendu. Okay? So they didn't steal any money, he just created jobs. Don't make it seem that that man concocted a scheme to steal money in the supplementary payroll. It's not possible.
Uncle Sam.
Not possible.
Thank you, Uncle Sam. I don't want to interrupt you, but I'll give you 10 seconds more. 728 names. Nobody saw those people. Where are they?
So there is no credible information that those people are ghosts. And that is not what the
That is
FCC
why
is
you are
claiming.
required to go through the process. If you fail to follow the CSA process, that means you are hiding something.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is a country 177 years old. I've been in government. I have written a letter for a friend, a relative to get a job. Okay. And he did not go to the the personal action notice thing to help somebody. And nobody will convict me of a crime because I try to help somebody.
I will say that's a different scenario. Thank you so much.
No, it's the same scenario.
We're gonna
Because
close.
every civil servant has to have a PAN, a personal action notice.
Referencing somebody and putting your whole village on a payroll that you pay with government money is totally different. Fatima, I'm going to come to you. You're going to close 30 seconds. It's 7 o'clock. Guys, let's do it in 30 seconds each. Your closing statement, madam.
To the panelists, I just say thank you for coming to impact knowledge on our Liberian people. To the viewers across the globe, I say thank you so very much for always watching us on Spoon, and being part of our country, Liberia. I would just like to say that this is a new day. I'm glad that the president is hold folks accountable. People who have done this country wrong, I think all of them should be held accountable. Even if they're my mama or my pa, they should hold every single person accountable. Payroll packing was wrong yesterday, it's wrong today. And people, if you are found guilty, I don't think what kind of position you hold, you should face the full weight of the law. I also believe that we as Liberians should want better for ourselves. We should want better for ourselves. We should push the agenda of the Liberianization process. I don't think people should come here and just be getting upset for no reason, because our country is all we have. You can go anywhere. As for me, I always like to travel everywhere, but I can go anywhere. If I come to that little Liberia, my heart not satisfied, because that's where my navel strings were buried in Samukatan. So I have to come there. I have to come to Liberia. I encourage this government, I encourage the president to always make sure he said in his agenda, accountability. He should hold people responsible. Anyone who took what is not theirs should be held accountable. I care you're second most powerful man in the country. If you put your hands in the cookie jar, you took money from that Cape Man. The cookie jar, part of that cookie jar was so go to Cape Man. Their district ain't go there. They will hold you accountable. I don't care who you are. All right. In wrapping up, I would just like to say, my grandma, Mama Zezeveli Moore, she will be laid to rest on Saturday. Well, actually, her wake is Friday tomorrow in Philadelphia. Her funeral is Saturday, but we're taking her back to Liberia. See, everybody want to go back to Liberia, even if they're sleeping. She said to her people, I don't care what happened. I don't want to lay down in a cool. You'll carry me to Liberia. So they will carry me. And also, I would like to say to our general, Lydia Jones, tomorrow is her anniversary. I will not be on tomorrow because I'm going to my grandmother's funeral. I would like to say happy anniversary to Lydia Jones and her husband. Wonderful years. We wish you more to come.
Shout out to my sister Lydia. Shout out to my sister Lydia.
She's a general. That lady has fought so hard. She have all kinds of health crises, but she believes in God. She worked hard and she's doing well. So I would like to give her a shout out. And to all the Liberian people who always come here to watch us, to criticize. So I heard someone were telling me, Fatima, your makeup too much. They not work. They not go to work every day. Someone were telling me, Fatima, today pa you lie. They can tell you when they agree with you, they diss you. But to all of y'all, for just coming, for just being a part of the Spoon Network. This network has empowered some of us, have given us a voice that we would have never even had. I just want to say thank you to all of you for always making sure. And my auntie Inia Nelson, I want to say shout out to you. She always come here just to make sure. My auntie Vicky Jari always come here to make sure that I'm on. And I thank all of you. And to my guys on the Spoon Network, even my Uncle Sam, I say thank you to all of you. Today my Uncle Sam hate me, but I still love him. But to all of you, I just say thanks. Every one of you.
You don't all the time you hear a stronger word.
Oh, okay, Uncle Sam don't like me. He said my uncle. My pa told me my pastor.
I'm not even like that. I mean,
Uncle Sam, don't get fast now.
You don't yelling. Look at me. I'm chilling. Look at me. I'm chilling.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on, guys. Fatima, thank you so much. Uncle Sam.
I'm fine. I'm okay.
I say thank you to all of you. My Uncle Sam.
I'm chilling.
And Ava, I hope your neck get better. I don't know whatever happened to you, but to all of you, Liberian people, we love you. We thank you. Shout out to all of you. Thank you.
I can you can't read, and I'm posing the room, and I can you can't hear, and I say you falling Stanton. Now what are you doing? You falling Stanton. We have problems just now.
Okay, guys. Marcel, I got to run too, so I'll do my closing 10 seconds. Our people, your thank you plenty. We'll continue to talk about Liberia. Like I said, we have no intention to make anybody angry. It's just to talk about things that will improve the country. And sometimes development has some pains. As long as those pains are not intentionally harming anybody, I'm all for it. Once again, man, your thank you plenty. I'll say Dr. Brope, Uncle Sam, my brother Fadiga, our sister Fatima. It was a pleasure as always. And I'm going to go to Fadiga.
Well, I'll be quick. Well, first I want to disagree with you. I think you were a little disingenuous when you chose Luxembourg and Singapore as a comparison with population and economic prosperity. That's a faulty comparison. I will leave it at that. That was a stretch. You cannot use the two most successful countries in the world and compare it to our country when we're not even. You can't even go around Africa. I think that was faulty comparison. And we can talk about that later. But then, look, we had a very good discussion. McGill, I don't want to talk too much about McGill because this is not the first, nor the last time we see him or we hear his name. But I do find solace in the fact that we are breaking down this cartel. As long as we start seeing crack and split, is good for an investigation. Is good for any possible things that are going to go on. So we just need to keep mounting pressure, follow the LDCC, the GAC, let the guys do the job. What was the next thing we talk about? The economy and other things. I think I'll leave it at that. But great show, nice being here. Nice being here to educate our people and talk about national issues. I don't know who next, Dr. Brople. I think you came next.
Yeah, so I just want to close by thanking all of our fellow Liberians who come on every night or every other night. Those who listen, I talk to people all the time. So I listen to Spoon, I watch Spoon. Keep doing that. But beyond listening and watching, I want to challenge all of us to stay engaged. All of the positive and productive things you're doing in your community, keep doing it. Because when it comes together, that's how the development of this country will take place. You do your own, I do my own. And when it comes together, Liberia will be better. So I want to just shout out to all that. I also want to just give a shout out to Nelson and the guys who hold it down, TT who hold it down at the studio. They make this possible. So we want to appreciate you and just thank you for all that you do. I do want to say, and I know my friend Fadiga is gone, but I think what Dualu was saying, he was speaking in the context of population size. That's why he used Luxembourg and Singapore, because they actually a small population, but they're doing well. So for Liberia, that's a demographic advantage, quite frankly. We're resource rich, but we're a small population. We just have to work harder to translate resources into wealth. So being small in population is not bad, but we have to be able to make sure we can develop our country. So let's keep doing it. Tonight, I thought the show was good. It was very constructive. And I always get excited when we talk about the economy and about jobs, because that's where the turnaround will come from. It will start with an economic revolution. So kudos to all my panelists, the CEO who had to leave.
Merci, Dr. Brople.
My favorite man, Nelson, is on. So, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so I guess it's my turn. We have a lot to do as Liberians. We've got to start thinking critically. And critical thinking doesn't mean you're criticizing. It means you're analyzing the content of what's put before you by other people. You don't swallow stupidity. You try to use your senses for the benefit of you as an individual, for your family, for your community, for your country. So, and you don't have to be educated. Some very, very critical thinkers are purely indigenous people with no education. But we've got to build both the informal sector in terms of critical thinking and put it in our education system and provide opportunities through some practical learning, through media, through technology, and then participating in the civic aspect of our country, citizenship. That's how you get a better understanding of where you're going, what the social contract is, what you expect of people. And all these things are things that our government should really look at. We should be fostering a culture of curiosity, asking questions. Don't just accept anything somebody say because they are boss or they this or that. You got to ask questions. You got to get some understanding. So, we appreciate these kind of discussions we are having here where we can impact people. But folks, just look at some things when it comes to this whole McGill situation. Is it a justification to say because you most powerful, second most powerful man in the country, and you can steal $10 million, so that means you will not steal $10,000? What kind of rationale is that? And to justify, we're talking about Singapore. Lee Kuan Yew, the former president of Singapore, he introduced something called MPH. M is for merit. P is for pragmatism. H is for honesty. So you just look at the rest of Liberia and say you are getting supplementary because people from Newtown, people from West Point, people from, and Logantown and other places want job. What about the opportunity for other citizens from anywhere else that you got to say you padding or payroll with people from a specific or portion of your party? It makes no sense. That's not job creation. Government don't create jobs like that by just hiring people on supplementary payroll. Just the word supplement. I mean, just adding something to something. It's not creative. It's not organic. We got so many opportunities in the private sector here to create jobs with the facilitation and support of government, whether in agriculture, whether in the service center, whether it's even starting simple things like primitive or ecotourism. I walk in the forest of Riverside for 6 days. Okay? You can put this solar panel here at strategic places and use that as an ecotourism trail. Let people come spend 5 days in the city. They see the farmer trap. They see the agriculture thing going on in the bushes. They see this, they see that. Sometimes you walk in a canopy. No rain can come down, even if it's raining. So there's just so many opportunities for us to create things. Somebody asked about the hospitality, whether our people got customer service. No training, hardly. Most of them, they're not responsive to customers. So there's just so many things that we can create jobs that somebody trying to justify a former minister of state just hiring his partisans as job creation or as the right way to do is just totally wrong. Look, the government needs to hold the past government feet to the fire. That just should be a standard. The government that will succeed Joseph Boyka, whether it's Jeremiah Kuhn, whether it's John Bikanga, whether it's, John Malou, whether it's whoever will become president, let them hold people in the recency bias the last 6 years. What do you guys do? What foundation are you leaving for me? What transition am I getting? Hold them accountable. So I really support President Boyka in holding his past government accountable. If there's some big low-hanging fruits from the previous government, the early government, go after them. But right now the focus is these last 6 years. So, nobody must say McGill was strategic in terms of what he did. No, it was very clear we are not having that thing until we can come on air and say, I told McGill to say that I gave him instruction for all the things he did. I will not believe it. We are blasted again and say, don't do that nonsense. I'm not for it. Go defend yourself. Your actions are your actions. So, folks, let's not be fooled. Let's continue to focus on finding solutions for our country. Our country has a lot of potential. And, this whole thing about, oh, yes, I want to touch on this topic. The thing about CDC has 50% of this country. And that's why it warrants them to their protest or to do anything is complete nonsense. You look at the election numbers. CDC had 33% of those eligible to vote. When you extrapolate that to the population, CDC has 14% of the population. So what makes them having an equal mandate to this president? They lost the elections. Joseph Boyka has the mandate. Hold his feet to the fire. But don't equate yourself to want to govern with Joseph Boyka. No, that's not how democracy works. You lost the elections. So give Joseph Boyka the opportunity. Criticize him all you want. Say anything you want to him. But you cannot sit there and act like you and Joseph Boyka are equal. No, it's not. Joseph Boakai is running this country. He's our president for the next 5 years or 5+ years. We have to respect that. We have to criticize. We can do whatever, but let's respect him as the president. And we don't have 2 presidents in the country. Thank you.
Well, I guess that left with me now, right? Okay, look, my dear Liberian people, there's nowhere where Jovial say he won't be co-president of Liberia. Nowhere, anybody in the CDC and people who support the coalition say they won't be co-president. Nowhere. So the other narrative, where Jovial want to be a co-president, where Jovial want for us to go to Akosombo, where Jovial want to do NTGL. I don't know where they come up with all these fantasy stories from. And that is to obfuscate. The big people say obfuscate. Obfuscate means you see something and you want for people to look the other way, so you're deflecting. You deflect, you know what they're deflecting? Because the economy is sluggish. Sluggish economy. The banking system is illiquid. They got 2 or 3 banks on the verge of collapse in terms of what they call it insolvency. Okay, one has been sold, right?
So like a second closing was saying, right? You got you closed before.
Let me go, man. As soon as I start talking, you just start getting anxious.
No, because you closed before.
I never closed yet. I said that is the thing. It's something is in your mind.
It's just doing his closing.
No. There is something in your mind when I start talking. You can just be getting crazy. It just go in your. It just go bananas.
Something really wrong with you. You're the one going crazy.
Really wrong with you. Because how could you be sitting down here and not know that I have not closed yet? How could you sit down?
I heard you closing. I asked you a question.
No.
I asked you a question. You know when you make noise and say you're leaving, that any impact on anybody when you leave this screen?
But we're not, but because you don't want me to talk.
No, I don't want you to talk. I asked you a simple question and you're getting all dramatic. No, I asked you a simple question. You're getting dramatic. Just say no, I haven't closed.
Because you are not the one that is moderating. And the fact that you don't know that I haven't closed is disrespect, Isaac.
That's not disrespect. I just don't know.
Because you should know that I have not closed.
No, I don't know. Why is that a disrespect?
Well, so you are not minding the
show. Uncle Sam, sorry, you have your time now.
Because listen, my people, Liberian people, every time I talk, they want to obstruct me because they know that it's getting to them. Do they obstruct anybody to talk the way they can be obstructing me? Because they know I'm getting to them. It can juke them. It can put balls on your skin when I be talking.
Sam, because now, a simple question.
Hey God.
Close.
Okay, look.
Have the distraction close.
Okay, look, ladies and gentlemen. It is clear that this
the respect I'm giving you is for me to stay here to listen to people.
You want me to talk.
Respect.
But when you can't let me talk, I said.
No, but you can't talk funny thing. Close.
Oh, but look about you mean don't talk funny thing. What are the rules concerning closing?
And the funny thing you're talking now. Close.
But you can't, Isaac. This is disrespect to me.
No, Sam, not disrespect. Close.
As I want us to please give Uncle Sam his time so he can do his closing.
Because the Liberian people, the Liberian people are talking to my Liberian people. I'm not talking to y'all. When I be talking, I don't be talking to y'all. I'm talking to Liberian people.
Close.
The Liberian people hear what I gotta say, but you don't want the Liberian people to hear what I gotta say because you got ulterior motive.
Close.
Oh God! When you are talking, all the thing you were talking,
my man, close. You distracting. Close.
No, you the one distracting me. No, I don't open my mouth when you were talking.
Damn. Close. Close.
Oh look, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't want me to talk, yeah. So.
No, Uncle Sam, we have the time. Uncle Sam, this is a thing.
I was here listening to you for the next 15 minutes.
You can do your closing now.
I only got 2 minutes, and I want to use my
all right, closing 2 minutes. 2 minutes, close.
Yeah.
But look at he giving me parameters. Okay.
You said it yourself. You said it.
But you just ladies and gentlemen.
I agree with you. You vexed. I asked you a question. You
vexed. I said I can never be vexed with y'all. You are my friends. I don't have any bitterness in my heart against y'all. I love
I
you
never
guys.
said you did. But man, you
Okay?
distracting. Close. I'm begging
No,
you,
but
close. I
you
won't
the
go.
one said you finished closing, and I have not closed yet. So
Sam,
when you can't wait,
Sam,
let me
I
finish
made
talking.
mistake. Close.
Cool. No, but like brown people, in a 2 minutes, I still reclaim my 2 minutes. So look, if they want to do something, the 285 yellow machine will tell them they are BDC, where there is no document, nobody know the price, nobody know the origin, nobody know where it come from. That is an egregious transgression, more than the so-called payroll padding. Let them go and bring Mamaka the book. Before Grace Bay became Minister of State, and Joe Baka was not even in president, they wrote a letter requesting 5 cars, almost hundreds of thousands of dollars from NASCO. Man married their money. They took it. And no one has been held accountable. No one. Those are the board I say they came to rescue. That's what LeBron Paul said today. The men didn't come to rescue. They came to rescue their pockets. President Joe Baka put his daughter on the payroll. Supplemental payroll. He put other people connected. Chris got I think his son or nephew. They're all there. So when you want those who come claiming equity must come with clean hands. These are the people that ran this country for 12 years. Bogus concession agreement, 66 out of 68. You ever heard of thing, Elenito, civil money, B-Ball 1, B-Ball 2? They gave up 30% of the landmass of this country into fraudulent forestry contracts. 66 or 70% of county development projects were either abandoned or never started. They have no credibility about Liberian people. And let me tell you lastly, Chowia does not want to be co-president. We are minding our business. We are exercising our constitutional role as opposition to speak out. They want to muscle us, but we speak out and we will keep the peace in this country because George Weah has protected the peace in this country since the advent of democratic pluralism in 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And thank you, Asif, for letting me talk. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bintu. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Nelson Koleb, for finally letting me talk. Y'all have a good day. God bless you, okay?
Have a good night.
I say one last announcement, just 1 minute, please. 30 seconds. This weekend is Rick's Institute, one of my alma maters, Rick's Institute reunion in Maryland. So just shout out to all the Rick's students and all the Rick's people. This weekend is Rick's Institute reunion in Maryland. Unfortunately, I won't be able to attend because of my grandma's funeral, but I just wanted everybody to know. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Thank you, Alva. Of course, my favorite cousin, Nelson. I love you. Have a good night. And to our Liberian people, y'all, thank you again.
Thank you very much, cousin. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Thanks to Mr. Avai for being here as well. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to all our Liberian people for coming on tonight. We appreciate your contribution. Thanks to all of you who called in, making your input from the very start of the show. We appreciate you. Thanks to the thousands of you in Radio Land, listening to Fabric 101.1, Spoon 107.5, and our affiliate stations across the country, Trust FM in Bowman County, Premier FM in Bone County, Trend Radio in Grand Crew, and of course, Gibi FM in Kakatama, Gibi County. Thanks to Radio Yalaman in Seclipia, Nimba County. There's always relaying this program as well. Many thanks to our online audience. As always, we're streaming live across the internet on Facebook, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. We're on YouTube. The YouTube handle is Spoon Talk Live. Thanks to everyone for following. Thanks for your engagements in the comment section, for making your inputs. We highly appreciate your participation on the show. My name is Nelson Colette. This is how we like to end up tonight on this edition of the program. Spoon Talk. But just before we go, I want to say welcome back to Angie Maman, Tough Talking Angie Maman, one of the panelists, the Tough Talking panelists on the Spoon Talk. Angie Mama, welcome back to Liberia. And your fans and all of your ardent, all of the people who come here every time to listen to you, saying welcome as well. They look forward to seeing you very soon. And I want to say happy wedding anniversary to Mrs. Lydia Jones, the female general. Happy 22nd wedding anniversary to you. You'll be observing or celebrating your wedding anniversary tomorrow. And I also want to say happy wedding anniversary to you, Mr. and Mrs. Philip Segway. You're celebrating your 13th wedding anniversary. In fact, you celebrated a couple of days ago. Happy anniversary to you. We wish you all the best as you celebrate another year of being together. Mr. Philip Segway, and of course, your wife, Mrs. Lisa. That's Lisa Segway, 13 years of being together. Happy 13th wedding anniversary to you both. And to all of you celebrating birthdays today, we want to say happy birthday to you. And thanks for joining us here tonight. Till we come your way again, I want to say have a good night. Coming up shortly is the late night show. The late night Politics on Spoon will be up in about 30 minutes from now. We'll be here with the late night show. I'll be here with the rest of the team. You can make up time to join us. Until then, have a good night and bye-bye for now.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the spoon to get your information. To the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening in Monrovia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat